Back in, we have a couple hours left in a red session once again, continuing to extend declines here, coming off what happened late in the day yesterday. We are off the lows, so there's that. But here's a look at how we are shaping up so far this afternoon. 0.77 there for the S&P, as I mentioned, off the lows. Same story for the Dow, just 0.25% right now for the Dow, 1.5% for the NASDAQ. It has been leading all day long. It was more than 2% at one point. To the downside, we got to 5.5% if you add in what happened yesterday. Remember, 3.5% by the end of the day. Following our friend Fed Chair Powell, TSX here in Toronto, just read as well, only just though, 0.09. We saw a bit of a bounce in crude oil, 1.5% now to the downside. Bitcoin and Ethereum both still positive on the session as well. Here's a breakdown of what we're looking at currently. A mixed board overall. I mean, we've been discussing earnings all week long. It's another day with outside moves because of earnings. FIS, one of those in the software group, dragging the rest of this group to the downside as well after a bad report. CTSH, FTNT, and GPN, all 10+% to the downside as FIS sits there at 26% to the downside. So weakness in software names offsetting a few in the semiconductor group that are positive even when Qualcomm, you can see it there, down 6.3% on the day. It was down more than 8% at the lows. AMD higher, though. NVIDIA higher. Enphase higher as well, helping to offset Micron there as well. 1% to the positive side of things. Boeing, another day, another move to the upside here. 5.8% for Boeing after Investor Day yesterday. Couple more upgrades after Investor Day yesterday, today. For Boeing, so a nice day for them. Etsy up 14.25% coming off a good report. Retailers pretty strong. Travel names pretty strong outside MGM. RCL, CCL, NCLH in focus today after Royal Caribbean reported. We'll get NCLH earnings next week. Here's the energy group, the entire thing. Positive on the day, including APA there. Decent report for them, but overall, a choppy kind of afternoon. 0.77 currently there for the S&P 500. Throw my pen around because it's, I don't know. Anyways, hope your afternoon is going pretty well. Welcome back in. Let's get into what we were talking about this morning. If you joined us in the pre-market, a ton of opportunity, as always, available to you. Make sure you grab the watch list. Make sure you come join us 8:30 every single morning. We get you set for the open. Neil's going to lead the way this afternoon. We'll have a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Your trade of the day is going to be on Meta today, as always brought to you by Day Trade the World. Get that journey started the right way with Day Trade the World. Scan that QR code below. But sometimes it's not that complicated because like this is, I didn't really pull it back the daily chart as far back as I could have. You could have shown since they had the name change, symbol change up to $200 and heading right down. You've already broken 100. You had the disastrous earnings, and a lot of times when you get that big gap down in earnings, you find some stabilizations, but that hasn't happened. Even yesterday, when we had that big Fed reversal to the downside, you ended up testing a fresh low just above $90. So downward trend into an even dollar level. I'm thinking one thing, and I'm thinking one thing only for this particular stock, and it's a breakdown. Is it going to break that 90 level? It essentially does it right at the open, but you'll see you're essentially holding right here at that 90. Tight consolidation, which gives that classic breakdown trade. So if you were looking bullish on a stock, sometimes it gaps up and you take that range, you take out the top in a bull market and you give it to that bottom. And other times it is just simply we're bear, we're going short off that 90 level. Now what happens when you look at this break is immediately buyers step in at 89.5. So there was a first flush, snaps back to the upside. Actually got very close. Some wicks down there at 90, but 89, sorry. But there's always going to be like a big spread opening up. It's a lot of like dark pool printing and not a lot of volume down at that low. And you can see there was a lot of execution, for me at least, in that 89.5 and slightly below range on that first move. Because what you're looking to capture there is 80 is just those stops. A lot of people that might have been, okay, so you're long, maybe you took a shot on this, swinging it, whatever, after earnings, or maybe you bought that 100 ahead thinking it was going to be solid. It doesn't, either way, you might have 90 as an obvious stop level. You know you're going to get those triggers, and that's that initial part of the trade I always want to capture. Then the second part is where you're looking for a little bit more of a sustained move. You get that bounce, It retests, doesn't get to the pre-market highs here, catches that lower high. I always like that for a re-entry. So it keeps on bouncing, can't really clear that 90.25 or so, right back below that 90, and then it's rinse and repeat. Get some out again, just a little bit lower than that bottom. It snaps to the top side, and here's where it can get a little bit frustrating. I wasn't able to add on this third time. And I think I was being a little bit too cautious. I was trying to get a better price each time, which you shouldn't do. I should have been perfectly happy to just take whatever I can get in and around that 90 level. And so it comes back down to the low. Once again, the bid steps up, shows you buyers halfway, do a little more scalping of that level. And then once you've done that, it's like either we go back up, we reload, or we're holding for the next level down. So I don't want to take anything out in between that 50 level and the current bottom. So until it gets to the bottom, that's where the next leg is. And once it breaks that, I'm thinking home run trailing stop. So in this particular case, shouldn't have taken the home run. This should have been an out there. I know it. I see it. You can always get back in on a trend, and you can always get back in on a breakdown. I learned that lesson with Boeing today to the upside successfully. But here on Meta, I get the trail out, try it one more time off this low for a scalp trade, and then it breaks higher. Now, the context of these lows, double bottom, breaking that channel back to the upside, is the market was putting on a pretty significant reversal. And in that particular case, there wasn't the follow through I'm expecting, so I'm not just reloading it off that top. And as a matter of fact, it does work out for you, although we are seeing signs of strength. So it was right to say that Meta has turned at least a little bit strong, but look how well it is respecting that low. There was a huge rebound in the market, but Meta continues to be relatively weak. I mean, Amazon looks to be weak as well. These big tech names are giving you some fantastic opportunities as a lot of people are getting stopped out. Potentially they could have long-term stops. They could have swing trade stops. But these levels breaking are giving you fantastic day trading opportunities. Almost every day we see a level like this break. And sometimes you just got to take that breakout. There's your trade of the day.
Ton of volume across the board for most mega cap tech names again today. It's been 2 or 3 days in a row coming off the Fed yesterday as well. Obviously in focus as interest rates continue and will continue to move higher. Make sure you grab that every single day. That's the link, guys, if you haven't done so already. Hit the QR code there, enter your email address. We'll send you the watch list that we create every day before we come on at 8:30 for free. Got to start with a bit of a downer note here today, in my opinion, anyways. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but the vote, I guess, in the Congress or in the Senate today split on the daylight savings time, making it permanent. And they apparently in this note say they, quote unquote, may reintroduce it again next year. But I thought this was pretty much a done deal. Back in March, the Senate passed it unanimously and said, go for it. It gets to, I guess it was the House that had it today. But yeah, split 50-50 on getting rid of daylight savings time. So yeah, boo. Time changes are not fun at all. Another one coming up here for the Eastern time zone this weekend. In fact, remember, change your clocks on Sunday morning. But yeah, that kind of sucks. Want to talk about this as well. Roku obviously was top of the mind, top of the list this morning after earnings. Their Q4 forecast a problem right across the board. Numbers not good, but pretty impressive bounce back here today, guys, right from the word go this morning for Roku.
Yeah, there's something, first of all, I can't believe they can't figure that out. Like, I don't know who's against that. Like, nobody...
Well, I know who's against it. Whoever the hell's in Congress. Like,
them. Yeah,
their votes have to be public. So I want to feel like we want to hear who's in charge of what there.
You heard those studies about it being a health thing, like you change the clocks, and like when you lose an hour of sleep, then a bunch of people, there's more accidents on the road because you change people's like internal clock. I know for that entire
hassle.
For 2 or 3 days, when you lose the hour, I hate that Monday and Tuesday. It's just never a lot of fun. Like the first couple of days, it's like your body adjusting to it. I already have issues sleeping, man. Like it's just one of those, like it's a battle. It was a battle for me on Roku. And what I will say is this, right? There's a trade that we usually like when something gaps down really, really significantly. And it's like it's gone so far that it's almost like the selling should be exhausted. Now, Roku did fit that bill in that you had the gap. It actually got up to $60 because the top line beat, and then they pulled the rug because that was the guidance. got to 42, found support. And then I always say, like, if it doesn't break the low, look for the long. It didn't break the low, but this bottom here is right when it's at 42.5. It's when we come on air. Do you want that trade in the pre-market? If you take it in the pre-market an hour before the open, you're gold. Your risk is to the low. You can definitely have this off like 43. You're risking 50 to 60 cents, pretty solid. I don't know where I'd structure it if it was breaking out the high. Like if I'm holding 45s for a squeeze play, I've seen it the other way too, where you go long the top and then you're risking $2 or $3. I don't love that. I elected to work a short. I should have just left it at that 47. 47 short gives a pullback. I reloaded it evens, breakout, and then that should have been it, right? It goes to 47. We're up on the day. The last home run trade doesn't work out, but I do take a shot at 51. That actually works for $1.50, but it's the reload here. Reload, out, reload, loser, reload, loser. And you see what I'm getting at, right? I've done this before where you think you've got one, like you short something that's going to the upside and you essentially go 2 for 2 on your first 2 levels. And it's like, yeah, but it's then broken the 2 levels that you like. So do you want to go for it a third time just because you happen to have done okay with it and you've won a couple of times? That's not actually a good enough reason because each of those 2 was at a level that I like to take that short on. And unfortunately, I end up just doing it in no man's land. And everything past that 50, this level here, should have been waiting for this level here, which still hasn't happened. So, I learn every single day, and I haven't done this in a while. Like, I've actually been a lot better with this, but it happens to you. You get a bit frustrated, and quite frankly, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You should be critical with yourself every single chance you get. So I should have waited for 55. If it gets to 55, there may be something there, but it's not really doing a heck of a lot. I think it could do maybe one last pop if the market can get off its schneid. Not that I can see it can. Every single time I was shorting this, I should have just gone right back to Intel and shorted that.
Ifs and buts. I mean, I'm with
Candy
you on
and nuts,
that
baby.
one. Yeah, I don't have anything to talk about Roku, but I do have some talks about Amazon and whatnot. But let's just go through the board here, and we'll get going. We are now positive on Amazon on the day, and we have a banger trade for Microsoft on board right now. So we can talk about Qualcomm. I actually have a trade on that one there, Brendo.
Let's talk about some chips here. Just quickly, PBR in New York halted. News pending. So a heads up, PBR, this is actually the Brazil listing, but PETR4 in Brazil also halted right now. This is a news pending halt. So this is a huge company. It might be earnings related, I see. So heads up if anyone's watching, PBR.NY or .NY if you're on the Day Trade the World P-Pro 8 system. QCOM in focus, obviously downside this morning off earnings. Some of the other chips though, holding up much better than Qualcomm did. Nice bounce across the board, though, guys, for chips today.
Yeah, a beautiful bounce for Qualcomm. I mean, Qualcomm was pretty much down to the downside. Oh, if we want to talk chips, I mean, I've got AMD. I've got a nice little trade on right now. I think is going to be good. So again, we're going to be negative on Qualcomm right now. Yeah, let's go AMD. There's a nice little load off that VWAP at a nice little 10 cents right here. Let's see if we can get going more upside here for AMD. We did get negative. We are negative on Qualcomm. We left it alone. We should have done our plan on this name as well. But not one that I'm overly familiar with trading. I'm going to get some more out here, by the way. Wow, good run. Now we're getting some more out on AMD, 20 cents now in the money on that name. But I gave it back here, and I think that was reasonable, giving it back to this 105.50. We shorted it. Now, obviously, it would have cashed in. Had to give this a little bit more time, but we ran to 106 in park there. So it was a nice little move to the upside. I feel like nobody on our chat knows 106 in park, but if they don't, they should. Look it up anyways.
You know how old that show is?
There was Free and then there was another one.
AJ and Free.
Yeah, forget about AJ. There was Free and someone else. There was 2 of them on there that were real good. But anyways, down to the downside was Qualcomm today and a nice little bounce back up. So I feel like we missed that bottom. And what I was saying before I got distracted by my own talking about 106 in park was that we did have that bottom right down here at 102.50. So we should have left that and then taken the long off of some of those bottom wicks. So generally speaking, when you have an earnings play, and I think there was a couple wicks like this on Roku as well, you get just some exhausted trading down here. And when stocks start to get exhausted, like what I mean by that is that like They tried to break these levels here of 102, basically 102 flat, 102.50. Couldn't do it. They did it a couple times and created these wicks because it was just bought right back up. So when you see some of those things on earnings, well worth the shot. And then, whoops, I hope whoever's phone that was is fine. You could see here, good shorts. So we did have some good shorts here. Shorted 105.80, got some of that out like 20s, 40s, 50s. Very violent when it was moving. But then for some strange reason here at about 120, we took off to the upside and we got taken out at 106. And look, there's that same kind of top wick candle. That's the one thing I got to talk to Mr. Noss about. And I remember when we weren't really great friends, and I think it was one of his first or second times on, we were talking about the wick off bottoms, and that's where it got a little spicy.
I actually confused everybody with that because
it's an actual thing apparently.
Like a wick off, like it's spelled like Wyckoff.
Wyckoff,
right?
yeah.
So it's spelled Wyckoff. That's an actual technical term. Whereas when we're talking about like one of those wick tops where you look for reversals, that's a very different thing. And I was like jokingly calling one the other, and that's definitely my bad. I think there was a real shot at Qualcomm to the long side. I had 100 on my brain, and I think once that happened, once you get anchored to a level, I kind of disregarded the fact that it was 103 that was a low on the earnings, so it did make that bottom wick, couldn't hold it, then consolidated high. So like it did set up for a bottom long, but I was really fixated on $100. And sometimes it's like you sit there and you're like, that's the price I want, the market's coming down, you're gonna get the price you want. So it didn't happen for me there. I did eventually go back to the well on Intel. I'll get to that one first, but I've got to talk about Micron for a second because Micron's pretty strong. I was in the short on Intel at the lows. When you short the lows, you want to give it a relatively tight stop. So I didn't really give it a heck of a lot. Then once it broke up, probably the right decision. I guess I should have reversed long on Intel because it did go all the way up to 28. It was 27.90 at least. Rejected that, and then it was just several shorts in the 80s, and then and again at the 80s. I did have some at like 75. Played some to VWAP scalp. I'm trying to get back in here at 27.5 off VWAP because it feels like we're trending down. But I want to show off Micron. I'm not in Micron anymore, because I had the breakout when it took out 54, and this is what happens when you don't actually believe in it. When you get into it, it's like, it's kind of going, but I don't really like the long that much to be buying tops. So I get it out, it ends up working, but we're right back at that 54 level. So if the market catches a bid, I'm gonna like Micron back above this 54, maybe 54.10, trending higher. I saw it do this before. If we dip, I'm gonna like the VWAP dip. The mistake I made the last time this happened, when Micron was leading the chips, is I was shorting, it was relatively strong, and I was shorting the top into VWAP instead of looking for the long trade and saying, well, it's relatively strong, let's just take that one on any kind of dip. So if the market heads back down, I want to buy Micron on dips. If we just start going up from here, which is a possibility, then I want to wait till we reestablish above 54, then look for the longs on Micron. Intel, I like working short because its trend is down and it's a little bit weaker, but Micron, different story. I don't want the short in this name.
Tap down, rip your face off kind of day for anything or most things that reported, including Peloton. Big move down initially this morning in the pre-market. Holiday forecast pretty weak for Peloton as well. There was a note about midday that came out suggesting both UK and German Amazon distribution going to be kicking off, quote unquote, shortly for Peloton. So expansion on the sales may be coming for Amazon sales for Peloton.
Yeah, and look, see, I'll show you, Peloton is exactly the same thing as Roku, except I think the risk to reward was even more challenging. Because if this was down at $7, I'm pretty sure we would have both had this, because it's $685 is the bottom, you've gapped down way too, I don't want to say too far, but it gets to like $710, and then at the open, you're at, sorry. Oh, the chart's. I'm looking at my chart. I thought it was on the chart.
These dudes are busy editing stuff. So
it is. Yeah. So there's your 685 bottom in the pre-market. That's where the earnings bottom was. By the time we got to the open, you're up at 750, and there's no long structure for me off that level unless I have a really tight stop. So I just simply said I'm not doing anything until it shows me a turn. So there is the wick top at 850, and there is the only short I have. I scalp some 1-to-1. I wait for the next leg down to get some out. I end up holding the last quarter and stop out through the high of the day. But it's one shot against the trend. Worked for most of it. Hold some for the home run beneath $8. That doesn't go. Just get out. Don't fight it. if there is another move to be had, there is a 920 top that can be maybe respected up there on Peloton. So it's starting to squeeze. I think it's a 15% short interest when we looked it up this morning. Not tremendous, but these days, because so much covering's been happening, it definitely is a big number. Like last year, you'd see like 25, 30, but the shorts have been winning and covering on the way.
Push the button. All right, AMD, a monster move up to the upside right now. We just talked about chips with Qualcomm, and I sort of mentioned AMD but didn't go over it. It just came back down to view up. Look what we've been doing on AMD today, man. This could have been the trade of the day. We've had a couple great trades today. I'm back to positive on Amazon. We'll review. I'm noticing Amazon's not on that list, so it should be. We'll put it on in a minute after. We'll talk about Amazon after we do the rundown, okay? But right now, AMD. Look at this bottom. Man, we knew AMD was strong today. We picked the bottom, ran this all the way up. There's out at 62 from 58 long, 58.80 long. So a nice $2 and change win. $3 up to the upside at 62. And then since then, look at these bottoms that AMD sort of showed us right here. 60.50 over and over and over again. We take it here. These are 60.80, 60.70. These out 61.30. So that's 60.70 cents. Comes back in, out. More ins there. Out, I don't know what was up with this. In and out there, I'm not sure about that. And then back more here, more buying. So it's because I have average prices. That's why some of these ticks don't really make too much sense. But ultimately, we're trying to defend this view up on strong stocks. And there it is again today with another nice win here on AMD. So, up 4%. I kind of get the Amazon feels of this one. Like AMD, again, had a good report yesterday, but it's going the opposite way of Amazon, right? Remember what Amazon did? It had a horrible report, got absolutely killed, kind of went back up that day, and then was disaster for the next couple days. I kind of think the same way with AMD, but the other way around, where they had a great report yesterday, but then got killed because, like this is the report, upside, right? Then get killed because of the market and Powell yesterday, all the way down here, right down to 57. So off of a good report, for some reason, they're all the way down here. We know what the reason is, of course, the Fed pivot that did not happen, and then straight back up to the upside today. And I think as long as it stays strong today, we could get bumped up tomorrow on AMD. So again, I feel like companies that have good reports are seeming to be rewarded in the following days. So I want to try to keep that in mind, especially when you're looking at a Peloton, when you're looking at a Crocs. And we got a super chat.
Crocs.
Shout out to whoever that was on Crocs yesterday. You are 100% right, by the way.
It's up 10%.
Yeah, you asked. It was up 13%.
Sorry, 14.
Yeah, it was up 14%.
Well, when I looked last, it was 10.
Yeah. Now it's just blasting their Crocs. Yesterday I mentioned that, hey, and I also did say I know absolutely nothing about Crocs. I didn't even know where they were made. I was just thinking that, hey, if Nike's getting hit on supply chain issues, they sell athletic wear and wear, Lulu, Nike, all these companies. And then we come out today and hear good news about, it was good news about Under Armour, I think, today. I'll have to double check what that was. But I figured it was going to be bad, man. And when it's good, and I feel like I wasn't offside saying that I thought it might disappoint. When it wins, this is what happens, right? So nice little move up for Crocs today. Congratulations, man. Whoever that, again, I apologize. He's probably going to maybe put a super chat for like 5 cents, whatever. I can see who you are. But I would look at Crocs again and say, hey, man, if you're long now, you could, and if my theory sort of holds out here, maybe you do get an extension over the next couple days, take out this 85, and then look at 100 again. So congratulations to that there on Crocs, because you definitely hit a nice home run on that one. Good job.
Right across the board for Crocs, they lifted their forecast as well, so nice move. Lighter volume, but worth a note for sure. Here's another one a lot of people had their eye on this morning. That was Robinhood coming off earnings and forecast that was disappointing, let's be honest. Active accounts downside for the third straight quarter in a row for Robinhood, guys, but nice look anyways, 9.6%. I mentioned it didn't matter what the report was like today. It was the kind of negative start, rip your face off kind of day, regardless of earnings.
Oh, it's like
Mr. Westermeyer, thank you so much as Neil spills everything all over the place. You never want to spill anything on your keyboard.
No, you don't.
I find that too. Like sometimes we're eating our salad here and it's like, oops, like I just got like a crouton stuck in there somewhere. And next thing you know, I'm buying. I can't stop buying. No, that never happened to me, but that would be kind of funny if it did.
Sticky keys.
Like you have like a stuck piece of food or something in your keyboard. And the next thing you know, you're long like 50,000 shares of something. But okay, so that's not going to happen to us. But all right, Robinhood. Robinhood's been pretty disappointing for me because, again, if you rewind the tape, I was not bullish today, which is funny because made most of my money long today. And it's funny, the only stock I'm really down on is Google, and we will hopefully talk about that at some point as well. But yeah, Robinhood today just didn't really follow our own rules. We got involved on a break high there. That's not something that I normally want to do. It did wind up working for AMD, but it does break that high. We got in right away. It's always better to wait for a bottom and then try to figure out the bottom and then use these bottom wicks as you're out. But unfortunately, I felt a little bit handcuffed because we saw what happened on SoFi. When SoFi came out, SoFi was up, what, 14 or 15%? And then we tried to defend that $6 level on SoFi. Let's go back over here and have a quick look at that.
If that's up.
SoFi's, but yeah, everything. I mean,
okay, everything's
going to be pretty up today. But I remember it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. Here it is, right? Oh, good. My trades are here on SoFi. Look, this is what happened on SoFi. So SoFi, very, very similar to your boy Robinhood, as it was ripping up in the pre-market up to 650. And then I was like, okay, let's go long on SoFi, right? And then we did the same kind of thing. We defended that $6. This time was a little bit different because we're able to make money when it bounced back up. But then once it broke 6, you have to get out. Like, I feel like you have to get out when key levels break because then look where it goes down to. It goes down to 570. So if I don't get out at 6, then you know what I'm saying? So right here, let's go back over. And I know I'm talking fast. I don't know why. But same thing here for Robinhood again. It's like you take the long, and I'm like, all right, my out's going to be 12. So when it breaks, I get out. The problem is it only goes down 10 more cents before ripping up 70. So, you know, I play the two as if they're equal. Just didn't work out today on Robinhood. But yeah, again, another one up 10%, and it's breaking above 50 periods, man. Like, this is a great stock, and it's breaking out. We talked about this yesterday. I'm very surprised at sort of the reaction here that Robinhood's had in this market. It's a nice upside move, and it looks like it wants to continue. The rich keep getting richer, man, when Sam Bankman-Fried is in this name at like $8 or $9, and now gets an opportunity to sell it at 13. So I don't know, man. Frustrating for Robinhood for me today.
I don't know what the catalyst is going to be for them next, but you can't deny the price action on the stock, right? So it is breaking out. I'm going to pivot here. This is kind of an interesting segue, but just to point out that you can talk about Robinhood a little bit, but the banks have been really strong. So I want to throw up Morgan here. You can probably, BAC probably has the same thing. But Morgan Stanley, which I thought didn't have a very good report, quite frankly. They were the worst of the banks in terms of report, but it actually is today gonna potentially, I shouldn't jinx it, potentially break the 50 period, and 85 is a legitimate breakout level for this. So a lot of the banks look like this. If you're looking for something, here's BAC, very similar story. You're right, look at the 37 level on BAC, where we've just every single time we get there, you kind of get there, then you fail, and you're consolidating. So some good breakout levels coming on the banks, and that's my way of segueing. I didn't have a trade on Robinhood today. I was looking at the place. Oh, by the way, Micron reestablished 54, so I'm long 54.05. That's continuing toward the high of the day. I just like to strengthen Micron, but I might reload the shorts. As long as we can hold beneath VWAP on Intel, I'll probably reload that short. I know it seems counterintuitive, but that's just the way that Intel has been. It's just not had the strength of the other semis there, Brendo.
All right, I mentioned this halt to kick things off at 2 o'clock there. PBR, Brazilian stock. It's an $8.5 billion dividend, special dividend, I guess, they announced on this PBR. It's still halted. Quick math equals $2.65 per share on a special dividend for this one, PBR, if anyone was wondering. I saw a ton of people talking about both PayPal and Coin during lunchtime, guys. So we're going to get earnings from both coming up after the market tonight. What do we do with these heading into earnings here today for PayPal and Coin?
Short everything. Short the world. Just short absolutely everything. No, I don't know.
It's all three of them.
Coinbase short for sure. PayPal, we can have a quick look at this. Microsoft, I'm trying to get more short here around 217, and we're still watching our AMD, which is 40 cents in the money. We're going to let that calm itself down as the market is now well above the 50 period. I still think there's a chance for the market to get not green, but close to where we were in the past, which I think was down about 0.6. Let's see if we retest that high there. But I mean, as Google hangs around 84 for very long, we're not going to be testing anything but lower, actually, now that I just convinced myself to get in. There we go. Well, that was fast. I just got another piece out there at 98. Okay, PayPal. Look, I still think PayPal, oh my God, it's $77. All right. So this one got hit pretty good yesterday, I guess, off that number there. Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. PayPal. I thought I was going to say it was $85. So yesterday we were at 85, and then wow, crashed down $10 yesterday, thanks to JPow there. So nice little move to the downside, and it's the whole Fed, not just him. And now I just feel like they had that news with Amazon that the Venmo is going to be on their site. Very easy to pay with it. I know you keep hearing Trader Pratt and other, a lot of people have PayPal accounts, right? And they prefer to pay with it. I mean, you don't give up your credit card, or you don't, have to take the debt on. Like if you owe $1,000 on your credit card, and then you want to buy Christmas presents or something, then you're accruing interest from the minute you push buy. So I think on PayPal, it just gives people an easy way to get in and, put money in, spend what they have, take it out, so on and so forth, accept payments, this and that. I'm long PayPal. My long-term account's been disastrous. But the point is that I feel like these bottoms, let's see what the number is like. They haven't reported a great quarter in a very, very long time. I don't expect that to happen again. It's more about the guide forward. Let's hear what they have to say about that Amazon deal, right? What do they expect revenues to come in for that? What does that deal look like? And does that affect their forward guidance? So for me, I would think that PayPal has, remember when Affirm, the day launched that? This is when everything was popping like crazy, but Affirm announced a deal with PayPal, or with Amazon as well, and that stock popped like insane. So obviously that didn't happen to PayPal, but you do get some nice little moves upside. We were just at $100. Let me just check the shortable interest here before I pass it over right here, just on PayPal. I don't think it's very large. I thought someone did maybe come in on an act. Yeah, see, it's nothing. I thought that someone did maybe come in with it's only 2% on PayPal if you're watching, listening and not watching for the short. I thought there was an activist came into PayPal, but I think that's what it needs, man. I can't believe how this company was at one point, a darling basically of everything. It was up to $400 there at one point. $320 it looks like might have been the high, and now you're down to $77. And I know the whole market is getting cranked right now, but still, PayPal, I feel like it does have some use there. But the problem is, as people get more into DeFi and things like that, I could see that PayPal does become irrelevant. So let's wait to see what happens. But they have a great customer base that appear to be loyal, and I think the Amazon deal has some kind of runway for them. So for me, I am already long it. So full disclosure on that, but it's been a nightmare. I'm not buying anymore, and I just hope that it can get back to that $100 level.
Yeah, I know Coinbase is up there, but I just want to get to Square for a second. Block, I said Block like twice, and now I'm saying Square. But that 50 level, it bounced off that this morning, and you can sort of see on the daily chart, this is a low. It bounced off 51 technically, actually, not technically. It actually bounced off 51. And you're seeing a little bit of a downward, I guess, wedge being formed. So if VWAP gets taken out, let's say we don't get back to the highs of the day. I'm just speculating whether that's the case. I just put a long on in Micron, kind of hope that if we do, that can make a bit of a run. But if you do get this breakdown through VWAP, you could see like a decent size like gap fill back in going into said earnings. We've seen overreactions in the past as people get positioned. It's been in a big downward trend, obviously. I don't see many other trades than, okay, if the market rolls over, you break VWAP, this could maybe give you a quick little move. Taking out the top at 55 doesn't look too bad. Does feel like we're a little bit closer to that VWAP. That's the only thing I'm leaning on. I haven't really done much with Coinbase. I did look at Block this afternoon. That's why I kind of had some thoughts here. But Coin, like you're at the low of the day right now. So like we're just bounced a little bit in the market here, and Coin is at the low. It's incredibly weak. It's tough for me to just say, okay, well, hammer the low when it's down 5%. But this stock is like look at the daily. It's already broken support and you're a couple of dollars below it and it feels like it wants to make a push down. This could easily, like this one could be at 40 tomorrow. And that's that double bottom that it put in back over there in May. I just find like there's a breakdown that might give us a trade in the afternoon on block. I'm a little bit tepid of hitting the low here on Coinbase. Like I suppose sometimes, I was saying this with Boeing, you got to be able to buy high, sell higher. Sometimes you just got to be able to grit your teeth and realize that it's going to the downside or to the upside and get in the party. I should have been in this at like 60. I should have been in this at like 61. I just was not looking at Coinbase today. But now that we're done the rundown, like I did get that Micron, as I mentioned, hit enter twice. So a couple times, the first time through, didn't believe in it, took it all out when it made a little bit of a press. This time I want to hold at least until the high of 54.40, get some out there. And then if it continues going, I think 55, which was the lower high on that Fed move. Because remember, we had that first press up on the initial move on the Fed, and then there was that push to the downside after the Q&A. There was a consolidation. That's where I think resistance can be on a lot of these stocks on the way back up. That consolidation after the Q&A, that would be up at 55. I'd like to see this possibly get to that level.
You know what the best thing that ever happened to me was? I logged into my personal account and realized they basically had no more Coinbase left. So I was like, oh, thank God I don't own too much of that stock. So
it's ugly today.
It's just ugly. I'm buying the coins instead. I feel like you can move, you can move in and out of both of them just as easily. But I just feel like I'd rather be long the coin itself rather than Coinbase. And we tend to have a little bit of a relationship between the two. So that's where I'm going to stick with my money here. But for right now, man, we'll hit the siren alert because there's Microsoft. I'm not sure, and thanks to Henry for your nice comments too in the chat there, but I mean, it's just, we've shorted this thing. We were long early, man, and then we shorted it again, shorted it there, boom, just got more out, like down here, right at this level. It just went right back to 217. We shorted it again. So that's for you, Henry. Some more bangs coming through as there it is, man, right back to the downside again. We have shit, like I'm just sort of piecing these things out, man. It was a little bit of a disastrous morning for us, but we really turned it around. And now we're up and we're super happy with how much money we're up right now, considering what we missed out on the open. And this is exactly what I'm actually so surprised that I'm actually positive on Amazon today, right? And so the thing is that I'm not surprised that I'm actually positive on it. It's more the fact that how disastrous this was. And we were able to get out of the way on this trade, which made a lot of sense to me. We took the top there. I've always been short Amazon, like the last 4 weeks, I don't know, maybe even longer than that. We've been talking about Amazon short. Like when it was at 140, we're like short. And again, Amazon's another name that I don't have that many shares in. I never really believed in where that stock was going, but Amazon, again, I still own it, so it doesn't matter. But some nice moves there. We lost here trying to go long, but we sensed that there was a problem, and we didn't wind up losing that much money. And then look what happened. There's 90. So when 90 broke, we smashed that with vengeance and was able to get it out 89.20. And by this point, we're almost back to positive, pretty close. And then we were like, and I said this on the midday show. Luca was right here. We joked about it back and forth. I know he posted it in the chat. I know Bears vs. Bulls did. I tweeted it out. Follow me at TraderTV Sean. I was like, I'm long Amazon. I feel like this is switching. So we went long there. It took out the 50 periods. And then these longs at 89.60, out 90.80. Like, these are dollar moves. First of all, we had to get some out around 90, right? I mean, that's still 30, 40 cents. Then there's the move back to VWAP, and then now you can see that to zoom out a little bit more. We just got that was funny because I had a bid there that I didn't realize I had, goes coinciding with this. But, the market conditions have changed, so we don't want that, and we get out right away. But there it is, man. Nice moves back up to the upside, and we are net positive. Pretty strong now on Amazon, so really surprised about that as there goes Microsoft. Again, ringing the register, man. Another out at 34. This is now just ho-hum, another 60-cent winner here. So, come for the fun, stay for the money.
Yeah, exactly. And now that we're done the rundown, I do have it's a long one name, short the other. But rolling over off VWAP, if we come to the downside, I know what Intel does. Generally speaking, this has worked every single time you've had a down move in the last, I don't want to say 2 weeks. It might have even been longer than that. This usually gets to the low of the day. So just going to be adding to it in front of said VWAP. I don't know if did we talk too much about Google? And by the
Not
way,
at all. That was one that
Oh, okay.
both them and Amazon weren't on there, but let's go for it.
I want to talk a little bit about Alphabet here, but Coinbase just keeps on falling.
Coinbase is a disaster.
Like I just sort of said, like sometimes you really should just be shorting the bottom.
But Google's a disaster.
Okay, Google is a disaster, but
that's the thing that's killing me.
I had one trade in Alphabet, and it was at 85, and it worked initially. I'm like, okay, take the first $0.50 out, stop out when it couldn't hold, and then it gets to VWAP, and then just rolls over $1.50 to the down, and it just keeps on falling. So it's got a double bottom at 84. I feel like I want to short pops back to 85 if they even happen, but my goodness, Coinbase. Like we were just talking about Coinbase, and it just defecated through like 58 and continues lower. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to try to short pops in this. I'll short this back to 58 because coin is just only falling. I like Micron for some longs there. I might revisit Boeing, but I did want to go just for Henry. If Henry's around, I don't know. Palantir this morning. I was like, if Palantir breaks 8, I'm taking it short. It broke 8. I took it short. It got to 785, but you can't keep Palantir down. You know, I stopped out the last quarter when it came back, kind of like the Peloton trade, right? Like you take the profit on the way to the downside and then try to hold on some for the home run, give it back a little past break even.
Ooh.
And now it's holding strength. So Palantir holding strength above that $8 level. I'd love to see it test back to VWAP. That'd be nice. But it's time to try to get into the Coinbase party to the downside. I'm kind of hoping there is some kind of a pop that can be faded because this has one of the nicer trends down today.
You guys wanted the chicken dinner winner? There it is. That was for you, B. Ruggiano. What's up, my friend? Right there, because we're going to hit it again because, bang, we'll hit that as well. Microsoft, a name that I tweeted out that I've just added to my long-term portfolio, both Microsoft and Google. I added to that today, just a little bit. So we'll see what happens there if there is some sort of a runway back up to the upside on some of these names. I feel like I'm going to look back, couple years or hopefully a couple months and feel like these were great buying opportunities. Maybe not, because we do know the Fed funds rate needs to go to at least 5 now, apparently. So we'll see if that happens or not. But there it is, another out. Like there's again, if you want some clean trades, like I know I have multiple fills here, but that's, you could just basically short it there, out here, like out, short it again on the pop, boom. Microsoft just continues to be a disaster ever since. And again, these are all, if you're not following me on Twitter, it's at tradertv Sean. Might be a good time to do that. We talked about 142 short on Apple. That speaks for itself. We've talked about the Amazon short on here. I don't know what else to say. And then the AMD long at 60. And then the Microsoft short as well, looking at 220 break. Well, I mean, now you're laughing at that. We didn't have it at 220. It was in the pre-market. It bounced around. The only problem with Microsoft, again, that I can see is it did come back. So again, this should have been a time that I was comfortable taking this position. Remember, I'm trying to give myself about 10 minutes or so. It did come back to that 220. I could have shorted it against 220.50. Should have done that. Missed opportunity. Started to go long here around 2.8, 217 or whatever that was. I'm able to get it out, so it's a very positive stock for me today. It's actually by far my number one stock. And then this is really where the money was made. The market was going down. Microsoft was up here near the 50 period. We averaged in. We got a great hero fill up there at 217.50, and then just brought it all the way back down. And that was about as clean a fill as you can have. I had that live for you on the show at 230. So this was only, so this Microsoft trade, just for an example, and I said like, come for the fun and stay for the money. I mean, come for the fun and stay for the fun, but if you want to put trades on, you can do that as well. But this, I just put this on for you at 232. So unless my clock's not working, this is 12 minutes ago, and it's now an 80-cent winner. So there it is. And by the way, we've been emptying out, and I only have very small amount left of AMD. The market's coming down, so we are now just I might just get out of AMD. It's breaking right now.
Micron's breaking down too.
Yeah, we're out of AMD. Finish the trade, man. It's diamonds bigger than your head on AMD today. We have tons of wins on this name, man. This has been a great stock for us to trade again today. Long. And then finally, see that coded as a short sell because I have an offer out. So we'll cancel that offer. Now we're out of this. Now we can just honestly sit back and relax because now we're $1 in the money on Microsoft.
Yeah, so I just got out break even on the rest of that Micron trade. Give it a shot, but once the trend comes back to the downside, then I'm short the chip name that's weak. Pick one that's strong, pick one that's weak. Petrobras did open back up here. I'm kind of missing some data. But anyways, Petrobras opened back up. I'm watching it in Brazil, but it's obviously dual listed. It is heading back to those highs. Special dividend. Look, there's a lot of concerns. I guess if you're trading this in New York, be very careful. Just had, of course, the recent elections there, and there's a lot of political tailwinds, I suppose, or sorry, headwinds, I should say, that could be related to this stock. So yes, they're doing a big special dividend, but that doesn't mean it's going to be all roses. I am looking at maybe at the close for like a fade at the high of the day. Sometimes you do see some decent imbalances on the stock, so I'm going to have this one on my radar. But back over to Coinbase, I don't know if anyone's actually going to be trading that stock. It might be worth it. I think it might be worth it to get to the close because it tends to have big imbalances in both Brazil and both in the U.S. as well. So if we get any pop in Coinbase, I like it. But if we don't get it and the market just continues down, I will look for some breakdown plays as well, especially at that 57 level, which we just bounced off of. I mentioned Alphabet there. That is right at 84. So this 84 bottom, not a lot of size on the bid. Maybe it'll chew through this 30,000 shares that I see on the NASDAQ book. Not a lot of size for this breakdown. The longer the consolidation, I think the better the break when there aren't a bunch of people just jamming on top of this bid. This morning, every single even level had huge buyers on these big cap names. Not seeing a heck of a lot. So I'm not going to be scalping Google off these longs. I'm really just looking for the shorts, this and Coinbase. Hang on to what I have over there in Intel, and then just look for other opportunities. One of those might be in Boeing. Hey, I said it right this time. A lot of times I'll mistake this with Alibaba. I should have Boeing off of VWAP. So I didn't get into Boeing until it was breaking out at 54 and then added at 55. Did get trailed out, then a couple of tight stops on the way back in. But this 155 looks pretty solid. Since Investor Day, which is yesterday, this has been an absolute beast of a stock, regardless of what the market is doing. Yes, it sold off in the Fed, but everything did. It did nothing but then hold the line and then break to the upside. So I didn't miss the dip buy because I really thought we'd get down to that 47. I was like, yeah, okay, it's starting to come down. Let's get it. Didn't get it. Was sitting there pissed off and then just took the top end break. I'll be on the bid at 155. This market flushes. Boeing's one I want to the long side.
Big deal there just happened in our pool here. So, no, this is a good one.
Oh,
Godwin, Lamar Jackson, and round 4 for Wentz, A.J. Brown in round 1.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz is just a throw-in, I guess.
Sorry.
So it's basically Godwin and Brown and a 1. Anyways, I'm just explaining it wrong. It's Godwin, Jackson, and a 4 for Brown and a 1. I guess the guy who got the 1 is rebuilding. But A.J. Brown's a good get there. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's a monster as a quarterback. But so anyways, just a little bit of talk there about fantasy football. I was debating going Dak for Lawrence. I think I was telling you that. So I'm in the middle of that. I'm basically eliminated. So plus they got Ridley. So that was sort of the key for that. Oh, speaking about football there, do you know who's going to buy the Commanders?
Oh, I didn't.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah?
Yep. Him and another famous Sean.
Well, I mean,
Jay-Z.
Yeah, but the problem
so I know,
is,
like, I'm kind of
have enough money.
Me and Jay-Z are kind of, yeah.
You got to take out a loan for that. I don't know if he has enough coin.
No, he doesn't. He definitely does not have $5.65 billion.
I don't know if he's got it.
He probably has that in his back pocket, by the way.
Be careful, Victor S.
So we'll see if that happens right now. I mean,
it's working.
Buying a franchise is so cash money. Oh, and then Ryan Reynolds apparently wants to buy the Ottawa Senators for an amazing $650 million.
He has this show where it's about him owning like a football club, like European football. I haven't watched it, but apparently it's hilarious. Yeah, it's on Disney, I think, or it's on one of the streaming services.
That's hilarious, sort of maybe, yeah. So Sean is Jay-Z, I'm Paisley. That's a good one. I like that one. Thanks for that.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z. Sean Diddy Combs as well. Puff Daddy, another famous Sean. So, but okay. I just, hopefully one day I can buy the Toronto NFL franchise.
So you got like Puff Daddy and all these good Seans.
I
got like Neil Kashkari and Neil Patrick Harris is pretty cool though. I like that. He's
Yeah. There must be some good Neils out there. I don't know. Has to be.
Really? Like that are really
I don't know.
famous?
But I mean, at least I have Sean Connery. I mean, there's lots of Seans out there.
Some of his stuff hasn't aged that well.
Has not?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
You watch some old Bonds and it's like,
compared to like Now Bond and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Craig is, I'll give it to Craig. Just back to the market for a second, because I just yelled out, like, be careful, Victor. I mean, just because I was bungling Roku all the way doesn't mean it can't work. But it's pulled back $1 before. I've been there, man. Like, this is probably the worst trade I had, was when I had the 52 short. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a buck. Here's it following through. Let's get the bottom. This was the worst one. It's like, get in the short. No, you don't do that. You can short off the high, but that stopped out the top. It's done $1 pullback before. Until it really starts, like, make a consolidation and take another leg down is what I think needs to happen on Roku. It's still super strong. Neil Diamond, okay. Neil Armstrong, I'm a nerd. I should have come up with Neil Armstrong because I am a bit of a self-proclaimed nerd at least. But back over to some of these names with the market heading back to the highs. Roku's coming down. Peloton isn't. This does feel like it doesn't want to go anywhere.
That's a good one.
What else they got there?
No,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, Zamalek 1 has the bet. Neil deGrasse Tyson's awesome. Zamalek 1, Shaq O'Neal. That's a pretty good one. Shaquille O'Neal. You get it? Like O'Neal. I think that's pretty funny.
Shaq
right
the Fool. I love Shaq.
There's lots. I love Shaq right now as well. Him and Barkley. And Kenny Smith there. That's one of my favorite things about the NBA season is that TNT crew that comes through every I don't know if it's every Wednesday or Thursday or whatever they do.
I love when they clown Kenny. That's the best part.
I just love it. And then shout out to whoever the sort of the main guy is there. I don't want to say the white guy, but I just did because he actually battled.
It's Ernie.
He battled cancer. His story is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's cool.
What was it, Fahad? I can't hear what he's saying. Ernie something.
Say it in our ear.
But anyways, yeah, that's amazing.
Ernie Johnson.
Johnson, that's what it is. Okay,
this is the best thing is Fahad and Lucas. Literally, we have them in our ear at any moment. They're like yelling it out, and we can't hear them. It's like that's what it's here for, guys.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Fahad would be a way better host than all four of those guys. But for right now, he's working with us, so we'll keep that on the down low. I could see myself on that desk with those guys as well, but obviously zero cred coming from me, so I don't think that'll be
I'd rather call baseball, but that's...
Yeah, Ernie Johnson's... Oh, he has a sad story with his kids, too? Oh, my God. I thought there was a story with him as well. He battled cancer, and I think it was a survivor. I hope... now I don't even want to know because I don't want to know any sad stories about kids. So, all right, let's go on and on and on and on and on right now.
Hey, what's going on with Mobileye?
I don't know, but I want to know what the hell's going on with Google right now because honestly, I can't wrap my head, and maybe someone tell me in the chat there why Google is just every single day, and it's my largest holding, so I should probably actually look into this my damn self. But like I bought more today, without even understanding what's going on. $120 back in August, like August 26th. Down to $85? Like, I mean, I know a lot of these companies didn't have great reports, but what? I mean, we can't go a day in our life without dealing with Google here. I mean, we're freaking on YouTube right now. Like, I don't understand. This is a big time move to the downside here. They're really getting worked. I don't know where the stop is going to be for these guys. This is a name that this is the only negative name. I'm negative on something else as well. I'm negative on Robinhood. We talked about that. And slightly on Qualcomm. But, like I keep trying to go back and forth. This is very confusing, my trading here on Google. Tried to defend this 85, went actually long, then flipped over to a short, eventually got stopped out of the short, ripped up to VWAP. Should have been patient because that's a my trade right there, and then all the way back down. So I don't know what's wrong with this name, but this was forget about what's happened since August. Like what's happened today? I mean, the market right here, the S&P is going upside right now, NASDAQ is going upside right now, and Google looks like this? So I'm not sure why they're in the doghouse or what, but Google just continues to get slapped. Look at it off this 50 period. It's like, it's mind-boggling. I'm going to read the chat, but I feel like there's no better name for the long term right now than Google, but I wish you paid a dividend. That would be nicer. But anyways, still going to the downside, down 3 1/3 right now, and I don't know where the stopping point is here for Google.
It used to be a premium, and it's like it doesn't get the it's down.
But what is the PE?
It's down to the mid-teens. So I mean, I don't know if it's adjusted. Like
why is the premium
15 or 16 maybe? If it's below 15,
why is it below the market?
Dollar cost average, because it shouldn't be below the market.
It's 16.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Is it below the S&P right now? No, I don't think it is.
I don't know how to find out what the S&P is.
Yeah,
I think the S&P is around 17.
I need a good site for that. If it's below there, then
I'm going to type in SPY and see if it says it on here. No, it doesn't. Does anybody know good? Maybe Brendo does. You know a good resource to find out what the S&P, the multiple is on the PE for the S&P? Because I think they're expecting like $220 worth of earnings or something. So you can figure it out. But anyways, my point is
someone
like
has to know.
I feel like Google, and I know, yeah, web hosting is down. Is that and I know the YouTube revenue slowed. I get it. I get the environment that we're in. The price action is just so negative. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I didn't expect it to be this dramatic, and it's still going lower, almost to the point, man, where look at this chart. I just got to hit 84. What am I doing?
Etsy is up 15% today.
Etsy. I mean, Etsy's. Yeah. I mean, that's. I can't explain. I don't even know what I'm doing. I might just hand in my resignation at some point because honestly, this has just been continuously beat down right now. I'm going short 84. I don't have a choice. Literally, this is what happened when Amazon broke it. I'm not going long this name. I'm going short against the 50 period. End of story. Get me short through 84, and let's see what happens. We're already crushing this Microsoft short. What's up, Brendo?
This is the SPX, so S&P 500 index. PE on here is 19.09 currently for the index itself.
So that's way too high. Historically, that's way too high. The rule of 21.
I thought it was lower than 19. Okay.
You know what?
I believe that.
I don't know. I mean, it is kind of hard to calculate because it's on the market, but we'll take that. So SPX, so a good little calculation there. The rule of 21, if you guys, you're at a bar and you really want to look smart and you want to pick up like a lot of, whatever you want to pick up there, you just say, hey, do you know about the rule of 21? And they'll be like, get the hell out of my face. But no, seriously, what the rule of 21 is, and you can look it up, it's inflation plus that number we just gave you is supposed to equal 21. That's when the market is sort of at its peak. That's when there's some buying situations. So you go 19 plus 8 right there is not the rule of 21. That's the rule of 27. So what that tells you is the market needs to reprice itself, which is exactly what's been happening. So the market needs to get from 19 down to at least like 15 PE. So you could do the math and work that around. Those are historical. You Google it. There's great charts up there that shows recession levels and all that. And it's whenever that rule of 21 gets all mashed up.
I remember watching Kudlow and Kramer and they would talk about that.
Yeah.
You get people like Kudlow and Kramer together.
I mean,
yes, they were actually good. It was really. I say that and people are like, really? A lot of people don't like Kramer, but I'm telling you, if you're like back in the day when I started trading, that was one of the best shows out there to learn about. Just, I was an economics major, but I love the insight that you got from them. But I was serious. Etsy is up 15%, and this is churning. It's actually churning here. So the market wants to break upside. This is holding a 100 level. Let me just go back over here. Holding a 100 level in the 3-minute, and it looks like it has a chance to make a run at this top. So I like Boeing on any kind of a dip. I might like Etsy in this channel down around that 100 level. And at Google, no size in the bid, but you know what? It's been bouncing off 84, and it keeps giving you the scalp trade over and over and over again. At some point, I might just want to pull the trigger doing it. I just said I wouldn't take the 84 long, but if it comes down there again, I might slap the 01s or 02s in there and just risk a few pennies, reverse if it breaks. How many times do I need to see it bounce off this level before I'm not willing to just take it and do the scalp trade as well?
Oh, man. Yeah, again, normally I'm all over that long bounce for Google, but I honestly not today, man. We're going to be a hard pass on going long. I mean, but at the same time, that could have been the bottom, so I am not going to go long through 80, or sorry, I'm not going to short it at this 50 period. To me, there would be no, I mean, there is a good point to do it, but again, I'm trying to stick to my rules. As long as the 50 period is below here on the NASDAQ, then I go short, but right now we're above. So even though Google has been getting hit, you could go short here if you want to. I think this is a good spot to do it. I don't want to, so that's that.
So Nick Dodge just asked, is Boeing's at the high of the day, is it a good short? It's not, it's close. It's getting really close. I do like the dip, but that's at VWAP. I do feel like you could take shots at this at the high. I didn't really take the short. I thought 160. If it got to 160, just pop the daily up, and you look at that 160 level. So it makes sense that it could start to turn around here. But I would give it a little bit more room, just a little bit more, so you get a better. As I am looking for a better price. Thank you, Sam Troy, long time watcher of the show, for the super chat. We don't really ask you guys for the super chat. It's really more about growing the community here. The more questions we get, the more stocks we get to talk about, the more experience we get to share, the better it is for everybody. So hit the subscribe so you can join the party. Hit the like button to show us that you love the show. That's all we ever ask you guys. Takes a couple of seconds there. We do appreciate those super chats, to be sure. I will take a shot if we get to the actual high on I was about to say Baba, on Boeing. Yeah, I'll take a shot at that short side of the trade. I am still watching. Excuse me for a second. I am still watching that Palantir. I kind of thought there would be a little bit more happening. But yeah, it's not really bouncing down to that $8 level. I am getting back over to Intel. I did scalp a little bit out. And then it's back at the top end of the channel, so it's right back at VWAP. If it fails VWAP again, I'll reload again. Just wanted to get up to that top, get back to the downside, and I still have my bids, not layered, but you know what I mean, like just sort of stack the bids on that downside to be able to capture it. I am going to try to take that alphabet at 1s and 2s. I still like the short through 84, and then I don't want to lose sight of Meta. It's holding VWAP pretty nicely. Tight consolidation here. Meta's showing signs of strength at this point. If the market breaks up, like Meta could, holding VWAP could make a bit of a run. So I got my eyeballs on that one, potentially in the other direction. The other meaning long for once.
All right, I have a long on board right now. Let's go. We'll hit this one, the siren, because we got a new position alert right now. It's your boy Apple in the building. Let's take it out for a quick 13-cent win right there. All we're doing now is dropping down cash, man, especially on longs. So that's a nice little win there for 1-4. I mean, I got it at 20% there. We'll see if we can hold a little bit more back to the upside. VWAP is right there at 40. So, we'll take a piece out near that 40 level, see if it can continue to run up. I want to take the long against right here, $140. So we're long at 20. This is going to be a 20-cent hit if we can see how it drops right back in. So let's now see what we can do here on Apple above the 50 period on the NASDAQ. And this is what we're doing, man. We got some feedback, and thank you so much for filling out the surveys and whatnot. And that is that you guys want to learn. You want to learn about trading, and we are going to review all that. So I want to thank everybody that signed up for the watch list to go over that feedback, because that's how we improve the show. And so I'm just trying to tell you, this is the kind of trade I'm taking against this 140. That's the 200 period. We're above it against right now in the NASDAQ. So we all know the darling that Apple can be. Right now, though, today, you are way negative. So normally, if you're playing relative strength versus weakness, this is not a great name to be in. Let's just see if it does want to float up a little higher now. That bottom there at 139, I mean, that's pretty disastrous, but I was looking for a 138 to maybe pick up some more Apple. I already own a lot of Apple. I went in and bought Google, which I just sat down to myself, I still don't understand that, and some more Microsoft today. But yeah, Apple's definitely a good one. I'm going to go long against that 140 just in case we do get. We're now into Power Hour, so welcome to Power Hour here. Hopefully we'll have some good trading ideas for you. But right down there to 140, that's going to be what we're going to try to do. We'll try to load it a little bit up there, and if we break 90, then we can get out. So could be a loser. It's not going to be a huge risk position. Before this trade, we're at the highest spot we're at all day. So let's take some more longs. There we go. I should have got more there. I did not. Must have canceled that bid. So let's get back in here, put some more bids in as it's falling back down here. I want to get longer on Apple.
Yeah, so as we come down, I'm going to get we just got another one there. Andrew Harris, thank you for the super chat. You're scalping Google, or Alphabet, I should say.
Nice.
So that 84 level, it's giving you like 20 cents over and over again. I was sitting there staring at it, waiting for it to break to the downside, so I'm going to get on board with that trade. I'm also looking at Peloton here. Peloton, look at the barcode, 890, 910. That's pretty much yesterday's afternoon top, so that's the Fed top, we'll call it. I like to call it the Fed top. So if you break the channel to the downside, yeah, I like that break. I'll take that break of 890 if it goes down. There's just a lot of room for this to go if it does want to pull back in. So it's actually slowed down here, and if it wants to break the channel, I'm all over it. I did grab some Meta. If that's going to scalp, sort of do that little back and forth, little jiggy or whatever you want to see off of VWAP. Like you can see it here. That's like essentially about 25 to 30 pennies here. So it's not off an even dollar level, but it is really holding this channel pretty nicely. So I'm working Meta. I haven't gotten Alphabet yet. It's at 05, so I thought I had a bid down. I'll get one at 3. I thought I was sort of sitting at 05s, but it looks like it wants to print a little bit lower here, so I'll probably get that fill. So Meta just grabbed something on VWAP. I'll start scalping this one as it does want to work a little bit higher. As for Boeing, want to keep your eyes on one of the strongest names in the market today. No real... That thing's happening again with my chart. No real press to that high of the day. That was 158.70. So I'd love to see it maybe even break 158.70, get to 159, like reject that. That would be a nice little high. So into some Alphabet now. Look, if you're going to go sideways in a 5-handle range on the NASDAQ, maybe it's 10, I don't know, it's pretty tiny. Then you've got to be, as a day trader, these are the trades that are going to be there, right? So it is going to be like very tight stops, look to work a smaller range there, and then just be able to take some profit as it happens. So just got into some Alphabet. Meta now bouncing into this top. If that's what it gives you, that's what I want to take. And then wait for a real move. Like if Peloton moves out of the range, I want to take the break of the range. But if we stay inside the range, I'm going to play inside the range, and that's what you want to be able to do as we go over to Brendan.
One that we were talking about briefly this morning, guys, off earnings, Datadog, just breaking back to the downside here, was holding this 76 all throughout the midday, kind of back and forth, but starting to roll over once again for D-Dog downside.
Yeah,
to hit the upside, whatever.
Aren't we all starting to roll over because the market is green, is red, not green. Bang. Okay, all right, Apple, there we go. So now we're back down to 140 flat, so get ready to rumble. We are getting close to getting stopped out of this one. It's not great because the money that I'm making on Microsoft is being lost on this Apple long. But I don't mind it. We're long at 140.11, and that's 10 cents
You know why it doesn't matter?
away. Well, Google, first of all, no, why doesn't it matter?
No, because essentially, if you break the range one direction or the other, you scalp inside of the range with longs and shorts, you break the range. The idea is that you should stop out of the ones that aren't working, and then you should hold on to a piece of the ones that are. So as long as you adhere to that rule, it does work out for you. So anyways, the Peloton just broke. So I did get into some Peloton. It just broke the 890. I got 87s. $3 slippage for a $9 stock is a little bit on the high side, but Peloton's been volatile, so I can live with that. I will get some out in the 70s if it does want to go. Yeah, there's Google. You're through that 84 even. So of course, when I'm the jinx, like I take that 03 long, and the second I'm in it, it's like instantly out to the downside, but you take that stop out. I did just work into a short. I didn't add to Intel because it hasn't really moved, but Peloton's the one we just grabbed there. I think you can probably at least have a look at Boeing if you're interested in Boeing. I grabbed Peloton because I like the level. Yeah, Boeing, there's no reason I can't see to get into that short, otherwise just giving it to the high. To me, there was a channel break on Peloton. That's the reason I wanted to be into that trade. So we're out of Alphabet. We did get Meta one time through scalping this. I'll take it a second time, hopefully get a little bit better of a price, and then see if it can't still rinse and repeat this. But if we end up going to the downside back to the low of the day, then I'll have Intel and I'll have Peloton on, and I will not have anything in Alphabet or Meta.
Yeah, because I'm now short Google, I am debating, like, you know, why I can't be short Google, long Microsoft. I mean, that doesn't make, or long Apple. That doesn't make any sense. So if we can, we're only long. We're out of Apple right now, 10 cents again. So this is not a big trade, not a big deal. I mean, for me. But again, you know, if it does bump back up a little bit, especially if we get back to 140, I think we'll just take some out because it's already broken below. I was going to give it to. I am giving it to right about now. So we are close to getting stopped out anyways on this name. But if it does bump back to the upside, I think it's worth taking a piece out because it did fail at that 140. Google has now broken. So here we go. We're going to get stopped out of this anyways in a minute. So let's just see if this one, it doesn't look like it wants to work. So we picked on Apple, and we probably, there it is. Now we'll fall down the toilet on that one. We probably shouldn't have done that. You know, the market is now below the 50 period. We should have respected that. Plus, we're on the short on Google. So, you know, that's going to be a mistake there, getting flushed out on Apple. No more longs. I mean, if we can get back going, fine. But I don't want to find myself kind of doing what we did yesterday.
Well,
of course,
size on Meta.
On that. So maybe Meta is going to be doing something.
Meta offer here. Just let me see if I can quickly pull it up for you. Meta had, you pulled.
Oh, now Apple goes.
Oh, so you know what?
Oh, my God.
I see it on one level too, but not the other one. So there was a 250,000 share offer that I just saw post and pull very quickly on Meta there. So pretty interesting. A lot of times you'll see that. Maybe they take the fill in. I didn't see an actual fill. So sometimes you'll see that volume, but it's still in the same side. It's still the same channel, right? Like it hasn't really broken down. It's been giving you that scalp trade over and over again. I didn't get Alphabet on the reversal, but that's kind of weird. I thought I actually threw a reversal in there, but it is back at 84 even. If it goes through a second time, I'll probably just grab it then. Brendo?
Another big mover from this morning, guys. Haltfest, in fact, for this one. HUDI still up 90% on the day. You can see a number of halts on the way up here this morning. Starting to turn back to the upside. They announced plans this morning to get in. This is a Chinese company. They announced plans to get into the battery storage and energy storage business today. So huge mover here, HUDI.
Okay. Hooty-hoo. Yeah, good move there for Huddy right there. Okay, Apple continued to go down. It's funny because I can't get a downward move here. We just took some pressure off there at 01s for us on Google because we should have reloaded that price right there when we caught close to that 20 period. 284.20, which was the 50. Okay, there we go. So now we got a little bit more. We just covered there and took the same shares short again right there, giving us a better average price now, but not great. Let's see if this one does want to fall down. I do have the bid to get out. If we do go back up to the upside, I hope I do anyways. Let me just cancel this AMD trade. Microsoft I don't need. Okay, so yeah, 84.20 or so. Yeah, that's right there. So I think that's going to be pretty smart to get out if we break that. Let's see if Google does it, man. It takes down 84. We went short. We're now short at 84. We're going to give this about 20 cents worth of room. So let's sit back and relax and see if this does want to print us to the downside here on Google. But it looks like Apple, like if I went short where we started to go long on Apple, then yeah, we'd be right at the bottom here. So it's funny that Apple's going to the downside, but Google is not. Let's hopefully that can turn itself around. Microsoft also $1 in the money.
Yeah, and Meta ends up bouncing just a little bit, but it does hold that support. But guess what just broke support? So Peloton tried to go first. It's still holding right around that 90 after the initial break. It went 10 cents in the money. I didn't take it. It's an $8 stock. $9 stock. I should have. But Roku with the first actual volume breakdown. So you get a fail at the high, a consolidation, and a second level break. So I said I was going to be a little bit more patient, wait for a second level break, and then try to go into the short when there's some more confirmation, because trying to pick the actual top, like I tried it here, and it's like that first consolidation break, no. First consolidation break one, here's number two. If you can get and stay below 52.5, that's where I'm going to work this. And then I can think about that lower high. I don't have to give it back to the high of the day. I can think about that 53 lower high. Just a different approach for me because it hadn't been going all that well. Meta, I want to take advantage of this move if I can. If it does get back to the top end of the range, I'll probably be able to get this one out. And the thing about this is, like, if it doesn't break this range, I don't necessarily need to be sitting in this. I felt like the market was coming back in there. And then the other thing about that, look at UVXY. Like I use this to see if what's happening. Nothing is happening. We are just barcoding below resistance on vol, like just nothing. So you want to be playing inside of the range. I'll get right back on the bid. Try to rinse and repeat this on Meta there. But yeah, it's time to get into some Roku. I feel like it does want to give us this print. Like I said, I'll give it to 53, but I want closer to 52.5 here. You did have that wick bottom, and it's trying to check up. Maybe I should just take a small amount, get in smaller at like 52, and then give it a little bit more room. And then if it gets up to 52.5, I can actually take a better price with a little bit more, probably at 60s and 70s. But I don't want to miss it completely because it is starting to really sell off. And if it does really pull back all the way, there's room to $50. That's still $2 from here. Like Roku has a lot of room into the downside, so I want to take advantage of that if it wants to come in. So I now find myself only in some shorts. I do want to have something to the long side. I just took out Meta for the win. What that could be a Boeing. Every time I look over there, it's not moving. It's not pulling back. It's not going to give me VWAP. At some point, I'm just not going to be able to get this dip.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, man, my story remains the same. We are now in the money, 3 cents on Google. Let's see if it just continues to make the move to the downside. I do not want to overtrade right now, so that's part of like what's going through my mind is I don't want to get caught up. We took a shot there on Apple. don't, looking back at it, it's kind of like, I don't know why we really did that. We tried to justify it to you. And I thought we did a pretty decent job of like thinking about what to do on that trade. It just did not execute properly. And now you can see Apple just continues, oops, that's Amazon. Apple just continues to make the move down. I should have, when I was long into Apple, I talked about the relative strength versus weakness. And I should have just been like, nah, man, this name is, double what the market is right here today. So yeah, I should have expected a little bit of a disastrous pull there to the downside in Apple, but we didn't, and that was my bad. All right, so Google again, same kind of thought here, same percentage, still down. Let's see if this market wants to keep going lower. We saw the disaster yesterday. We're into power hour now. Do people really want to buy this close? Let's see. We have this back up to 80.20, so we're looking for 20 cents worth of a move to the downside at least in Google, and that would be lower than the day's low. So that's, we need this market to continue to push lower in order for this to work. And honestly, we're kind of just barcoding right now in this market, so I'm not super convinced that it's really worth putting on too much risk right now. Microsoft continues to bleed though. This name is fine. We're $1 in the money on that short and looking for more as it is now below its day low. So, that's why I have a little more confidence in a Microsoft than I do in our boy Google right there. So let's see if it continues to go downside. We will take something out at the day's low of 95, but honestly, man, we're looking for a lot lower here on Google. I feel like we deserve it. It's my only negative name today. So again, we talk about going back to the well and staying in your lane. Maybe you should have stayed away from Google if we're negative on it, but I've traded it enough that, hopefully we have this one right there. There, we got a 96, so now we're back to the low of the day. Let's see if Google wants to take this out, and there it goes bouncing again. So I don't want to be scalping, man. I feel like Google can go, and I'd be pissed off if I don't have something on, but we'll take out 10% there and another 10% at 90 if we go there.
Yeah, I didn't get the reverse when I got the 84 long, but then it just reclaimed 84, so I did get in there. I said I'd get in if it goes the second time to the low of the day. Someone just asked, am I excited about Fubo? So I'm not that excited about Fubo earnings, although the opportunity for a good trade is definitely going to be there, because we just saw what happened with Roku. If Fubo TV pulls a Roku and gets down to about like $2 to $2.40, like you get a real big gap to the downside, well, then you could see one of those situations where it's just down too far. Like I'm not saying it's going to go down, but if it is down too far, like 20%, 25%, one of those types of huge flushes, you could find some support off $2 or catch that low and get a little bit of a squeeze play. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for in Fubo. I'm excited to trade it. I'm not excited for the earnings per se. I don't really see what would be positive in them. It doesn't mean they can't be. I just don't really see it personally. So going back over, like I said, I just got into Google. I am still looking over at Boeing for potential opportunity. I do think that high of the day is a good level, but I'd rather see it, let's like break down or something. Like either break to the high, test 59 and get in, or break the channel down, maybe a 157.50 and get into it. I did start Roku a little bit earlier because it broke that level, but I told myself, take a little bit less, and then if it goes back up here, challenging that 53, then I have a place where I can add off of where that stopped, that lower high around that 53 even, I'd want to get out. So there's room to the bottom. I think we've got one that can go if the market wants to flush. Hopefully it'll flush. We'll see. I don't have that Meta long, so Meta keeps, I'm on the bid here for that little bit of a channel on Meta. I want something that I can, consolidation long if the market breaks up. So I do want to get back into Meta off of VWAP, but I am obviously clearly all short at this point.
Okay, so did I get that Google bid down there? No, I did not. Oh, that sucks. I did have a bid down there. I thought I had a bid at 83. Oh, it went to 84 on Google. Boo for me on that one. Just missed that by a hair. Let's put another bid then. Let's put a bid at 86, man, and call it a day right there. Yeah, just a bit outside on that one. So we'll wait to see there.
Bob Uecker.
Yeah, exactly, man. The legend there, Bob Uecker, for sure.
I love that.
Okay, man. I still can't believe that why didn't I realize that was a no-hitter last night? Like, wasn't it an official no-hitter? Like,
it was a combined.
Combined. Oh,
So
maybe
starter
that's
went
why.
6, and then it was reliever.
Nowadays, you can't get full 9 innings.
Nobody pitches a 9.
Wasn't it last year? Someone from Tampa Bay pulled their guy like. Well, Tampa Bay has that rotation
That's
stuff.
how they do it.
That's
like,
how they do it.
Time
But
through,
I don't know the next time you're going to see a full game no-hitter. I guess
Verlander can do
all
it.
those analytics there. Yeah, I think there's a few guys that could do it. Can Manoah do it? I don't know if he has.
Yeah, Manoah can do it. Manoah's
Yeah,
a
those
horse,
young
man.
arms.
He
Exactly.
can do it. Yeah.
Young arms, Justin Verlander. You know, the Leafs, the Jays were his second choice, and he's a free agent. So I'm wondering if he comes here next year on a one-year deal. It's going to be $40 million, though, right? So
He's
I don't
not
know
coming
if
to Canada.
If that's worth it or not.
I'd love to have Verlander. Here,
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as solid as you can get. As long as you don't let him pitch in the World Series, but we got to get there first. Okay, Brendo, what's up, dude?
Shots fired.
There's been a number of announcements throughout the past couple of days, guys, from Amazon on hiring practices going forward. The latest here on AWS. So they're saying that Amazon Web Services freezing hiring in multiple divisions for several months, according to insiders. Again, that's AWS specific, guys. So other headlines yesterday and then this morning were more on other parts of the business. AWS also now freezing hiring for several months, according to insiders.
I thought
Yeah,
that,
that labor
I mean, I heard
market's gonna
that
catch
story. I heard it yesterday, and then it came across my CNBC
Feed?
app came there as a notification. So yeah, you know, freezing hiring I think is a good move, man. At this point, you know, the days of ping pong tables, kombucha stations, and all that stuff is now over for all you tech companies out there. You know, you got to start cutting back a little bit. They've already cut back on travel expenses and whatnot, and so yeah, nicely done there, Amazon. I mean, Look, man, I hate when people, I mean, it ultimately winds up costing people jobs, right? And that's the shitty part about it. There's no doubt. And I never want to be like cheering job cuts or anything, but, you know, this is a market, and we need to, you know, respect sort of some decisions that some of these corporations make, because when the times are good, the times are good.
We only talk about things in terms of if you're a shareholder of a company, then you want said company to be acknowledging some of the costs. Look at what happened to Meta. Actually, I'm on Meta. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, look at what happened to Meta when we found out just how much they're spending, and then it's like, yeah, we're going to spend even more and just keep doing it. They got crushed for it because that's the environment that we're in. That said, this market wants to do this, and I know. Look, I get it. Like, you're taking 10, 15, 20 cent scalp trades, right? But this is what the NASDAQ is doing. I said 20 handle range. It's probably a little closer to 40. It's a 40 handle range is absolutely nothing on the NASDAQ. We're essentially not moving. So what you've got to be able to do is find a place where you can execute, have a reasonable stop. Like if this gets, you know, I'm not even actually giving it more than 15 pennies. It's actually a little bit tighter than the 15-cent stop, but it's giving you 15 to 30 cents worth of a win. So 1 and 2 to 1, if you go to the upside, that's available for you, and I want to be able to take it. Now, there are things out there that could move more. Like I think if we flush, I'm surprised it ain't doing it already, but that's just how it's been on Intel. But this is getting annoying. I think if this takes out the bottom, I am holding out for more on Intel. I've been hesitant to add back into it because we're scalping other things. And I'm kind of with you. I was only going to get Alphabet out closer to like 75 and then 50. But if it's only giving these 80s, then I got to take something in the 80s for that scalp trade. That's what it wants to do. We got to be able to take these trades because that's all the market is really giving you at this point. There are other names out there. I don't want to ignore them. I know some people look at Tesla out there as it loads up. It's doing the same barcode. I just always feel when I try these types of trades on Tesla, because of the spread and there's a lot more darks, it's just when you get filled in the outside of the range, it's not really as clean. It's like when you can get it, it's no good, and when you can't get it, that means it is good. I hear Lucas say that all the time, and I've always believed it to be true in Tesla, so I like Tesla when there's better liquidity.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this market is there's lots of liquidity at levels, so you just gotta try to be safe with it. My best out on Google's 82, so I'm doing the same kind of thing. They're trying to scalp, and now I have a position. It's only 25% left. Oops, I'm still on Microsoft. Sorry about that, guys. I was looking at Microsoft as reshorting right there on that 50 period. I didn't pull the trigger. You know, that was something that we could have done there as well, and we didn't. So, you know, it might be a mistake. Still can't believe Apple, I went long there. But there it is. There's some outs there on Google. That's the best out, 82 for the day, which is great because the bottom, remember I said this goes with ebbs and flows, and it's like you never want to be, too upset at the market for not getting fills because sometimes you do get great ones. So when the bottom of the day is 81 and we got an 82 fill, I think that's pretty good. So now we're going to watch out for this bottom to break back down. We have Globby right here as well. He's watching the market, this Globby thing.
Oh, that's what it's called?
It's
that's cool.
It's one of those stress things. It's the best stress thing out there, I think. My kid had one, and I was like, give me that Globby there. So I actually got a Mastermind. The wife went and got one of these. I don't know if you can get them on Amazon. But anyways, I'm doing that so I don't trade as much right now because I'm trying to hold on to that position. I have the Microsoft short, and we're all looking for more, man. So PayPal reports, oh, no, that's nothing. Okay, PayPal reports tomorrow. Sorry, I thought something just moved there. Coinbase and PayPal. Not really moving right now, but this is another one of those names, again, where I think you can make a little bit of coin on here. If we do break that bottom right there of 76. This is what I mean. I'm just like, I got to wait for levels, man. I mean, if they don't come out, they don't come out. But right there, 76.85 on a possible breakdown. It's already 324.
No, it's
Please,
not.
guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We need more people watching our show. I feel like we're the best thing out there on YouTube. There's not a better show on the street. If there is, send it to me. And I want to thank everybody for watching again. We've had a hell of a lot of fun. It's been a Cheesehead week. It's been a Pulp Fiction week. It's been a Fed week. It's been the return of Fahad, the missing of Tony right now. It's just an absolutely fantastic. He's not missing per se. I shouldn't say that.
Tony's on vacation.
He's on vacay right now.
He's on vacation.
I'm actually going to I'm firing that guy a message right now, seeing how he's doing.
Let him enjoy
And then
Boston.
forget that. I'm going to see what he's doing right now. I'll get back to you if he messages me back, guys.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, Tony's not missing. We would...
I don't want to scare people there like Tony's missing, but he's not.
Tony doesn't go missing.
No,
That's
he
not
doesn't.
how it works, man. Like,
No, Tony doesn't go missing. There has to be a Chuck Norris thing there.
I was trying to think of a Chuck Norris.
I was trying to think of like what that might have been there, but
I should have shorted Coinbase. We talked about this one. Maybe you just short at the bottoms. This data issue is kind of annoying, but yeah, we talk about this like shorting at the bottoms. It broke that 58. It consolidates, no pop, just continues lower, breaks 57, goes down to 56.5. Like there is no stopping this thing to the downside. It's like everything. Adding to some shorts, and the market tries to make the bottom end of the range. And the one thing that's actually breaking down is the one thing I'm not short. I'm Neil. I like to get mad at myself when I don't actually take some of these trades. Market popping a little bit, that means I need to get out of some of that meta, as it does want to pop. 15 minutes, not the best to show you guys scalp trades. So as it continues to bounce, next out, I do want to catch this at 89.60s or so. So it's about that 1.5, 2 to 1 type area there. This could mean the death of Peloton for that short. If it does take out, I'm at 905 for a stop. I think it's actually at 906. Then I got to get that one out. The good news is, for everyone that liked that Roku short, yeah, the market bounces a bit and tries to go back to the top end of the range. No, Roku. It's still sliding to the downside. This I am waiting for 51 because I believe when it does go, it should fall a little bit further. I believe it's got that room. This is not as much of a scalp trade. This is more play down into VWAP. We do have to be flat at the end of the day, but there's still enough time for this to make that VWAP retracement here over on Roku.
There it is. Yeah, so Coinbase EPS expected of minus 147, down from 183 in Q. Minus 147, down from plus 185 in Q3. Revenue, 641 million, down 50% year over year. So that's what they're expecting. 51% drawdown in revenue after market there for Coinbase. We'll watch out for PayPal. Google did make a little bit of a run back up. I think this is a name that we probably should have shorted there. Ooh, I didn't even realize how low this came out right now. So our out's still going to be 20, but we are dancing around a little bit. Let's try this short one more time right now at that 06 because that is right where the 50 period is. We want to try to go short into 50 periods. So that's, darn it, that's too bad. I was waiting for it to break 20. I thought for some reason like, hey, this is going to break 20. I don't want to do anything. I didn't realize that the 50 period has come all the way down. So again, that is a short there against 20. Missed it. Darn it. That's too bad. That's 10 cents now. We just gave up on that. So All right, you win for now, Google, but I'm going to be sitting there again, see if we can grab that and get out if it breaks upside through $20. People saying short Peloton. Why is that? Finally,
It's at the top.
Nah, don't short.
No, man.
I don't want to short this, but it's getting. Yeah.
Like you just saw it hit. It just stopped me out. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not shorting it.
Okay, you were in it. Yeah,
I was in it. I was in it underneath that 9. It took out the 905, and that's my. Ooh, the 905. That's my area code. It doesn't. Whatever.
Doesn't Mississauga and Peel have like 14
It's
area
a
codes
local.
now?
It's a local area code.
I feel like there's like a 256, and there's like a. I don't know.
There's a bunch of them, but anyways,
I don't know. Anyways, who knows?
905.
I think Toronto even has a couple different ones. 647.
It needs to fail that high.
I mean, I'm the OG. I got a 416.
416 is the old school. That's what it's all about. But there's also like 647 in as well. But someone just said MMAT making some moves to the upside. So here's something. It's a slight break. I mean, it's not gigantic, but it is above a key level on the daily, that 135 level. It's just a volume. I always want to see more volume than this when a move is happening, but I'm not really seeing a ton of it. More exciting if it was on volume. But yeah, the market now coming back into that upside. Why am I not getting the meta fills? I think I'm missing meta by like 1 or 2 cents this time.
Like for everyone behind me, for everybody watching this and everything, like I just talked about shorting Google off that bump up, right? So look, we just got short at 08 right there, and then now I'm getting it back out in the 90s. I think it's worth scalping now. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have a lower low or not here come out today, but there's a nice little win there, and I think you just got to stay with the trade, and then if it takes out some of these tops like that 84.20, 84.30 maybe even there, and if you want to even go higher up, then you got those 50 levels. But for me, there's the reload put in right there. And I know that, like I said, man, some of the feedback is like you really appreciate, the learning and the strategies and whatnot like that. I want to say a shout out to Sam Troy, who has given a couple super chats and talked about, how successful he's been watching the show and listening and learning and stuff like that. So please, you don't have to take all the trades that we take because, the market knows we have some losers on board, that's for sure. But definitely just try to understand what, if you want to, try to look at what we're looking at, why we're taking it, and then understand that Neil and I are both trading equity. We're not trading CFDs. We're not trading options or anything like that. We do, I just got some more out at 95. We do have to be flat at the end of every single day. And I've made, just for example today, 370 fills today. My fees are up there a little bit. There's $66 in fees, but 370 fills, $66 in fees, and we're close to the highest spot we've been at all day. So far so good here. We had a bad trade early on Amazon. We made all that money back, turned that green as well, and now patience is key. We could still look. See how we have 3 outs down there? I have less than half now on board at Google. I'm still holding for the bottom, and I'm still waiting for that 84.20 to break. So I'm not going to average in again because it's kind of making, and if I take these away, we're kind of starting to make, higher lows right now as you start to go back up to the upside. So I feel lucky that we're able to get that trade and get it out right there. So for now, we'll wait for lower lows. Hopefully they come in. I have no more bids anywhere. I mean, Microsoft right now, hit the damn siren for that one. Microsoft is now at the day's low, and we're $1.13 in the money on this name, a dime in the money on Google, and I think we're done now. It's 3:30. Thanks for everything today. If Google rips up, we'll get out. If not, let's hold into the close. Maybe we have one of those disaster finishes here again.
So the only reason why I'm tempering expectations on disaster fills, I'm going to actually take some profit shy of where I wanted to get it, is this is happening on UVXY. You're actually getting a little bit of a breakdown here. So when I see that, I kind of feel like you are having a chance to get to that upside. I just got my next, look what's happening in Meta. Meta just broke the channel to the upside. So scalping this, you know what, the fact that I'm in the money even a little bit on Roku, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I'm probably going to cover Intel here. It just feels like I look at that and it's just telling me something. If we're breaking channel downside UVXY, something like a Meta's going into the upside, Roku just gave me a gift horse that I did not take. So I'll show you here. Like I was sitting there waiting for the bigger move. I had a chance to get this out, for 40, 50 pennies, which is a decent move given the risk to reward. But I just want to trim it when I see the market start to come back to the upside. So get out of Intel, probably even trim some There we go. It's actually breaking out, so that's probably a good call at this moment. Going to probably trim some Alphabet. And then I said if we broke upside or had signs of the upside, hold on to the thing that's working. I really did think it was going to be the short, so you scalp some back and forth. When it indicates that it might actually be that long, get the you-know-what out of Dodge and hold the longs. I wish I had something else to the long side. I was hoping at some point it would be Boeing. Boeing. You know I mean Boeing when I say that.
I didn't know that was one of your things. I only know that because you mentioned it.
I've been making that mistake a lot lately.
I've never noticed, man.
And it's because I don't really trade Boeing very often, but because you see the downward trajectory in all of these ADRs, the Chinese ADRs. It's like every single day you're looking at the Chinese ADRs because the trend and the move that they have. And then I just get accustomed to, like, I see BA and I say Alibaba and it's partly Ian's fault too because he says Baba.
I thought he corrected that.
No, he has been correcting it. So I always have Baba in my head, Alibaba. But yeah, so I want to hang on to Meta. It's not to say that I think Meta's getting back to like 90, 50 or so, but I want to give it that shot. That if we extend the move to the upside and break up, that something breaking consolidation and holding support, I want to get a bit of a hold on. And you know what? Now that Roku's...
Oh, Microsoft.
You see, this is what happens, right? I'm like, yeah, let's start covering. Let's just trim some of the shorts. The market wants to break to the upside. Here's Roku actually coming back into that downside. Yeah, this is me listening to myself and saying, if I can end the day with my last trade on Roku being at least positive, then I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to try and get this bid out on Roku. You know what? I'm not even going to do. I'm just going to get out if I can right here above that 50-50. Take the profit and run. It does feel like there might be a better chance for a bit of a recovery trade. So if I can win on this, fair enough. If I can now get out of Alphabet, I'll take some out even flat, like forget about it. I don't even need the low of the day. If I can get some flat and it works lower, fair enough. I just want to be in Meta looking for that long breakout trade. It just feels like that could give you a little bit more room. It is a small buy imbalance. That is not the reason that I'm in this trade or holding on to the long and getting rid of some of these shorts. It's more the fact that I finally got a channel break, which is what I was looking for. It happened to be in Meta, but I see some strength. I'd rather play for this to be able to hold up, reload off some of those lows and work this hopefully to 90-50. Maybe we don't get a breakout, but if we do, at least I have something working.
All right, so just an update here. I'm not expecting too much. I'm expecting downside into the close, but again, you know, Neil just talked about sort of what's happening here in the futures. Like, I'm glad that everyone's joining us again and again every single day. We've got some bangers on. You can see on the board there, but honestly, we're still barcoding. Nothing like that action that we saw yesterday, of course, but you know, some pull downs happening right now. Microsoft is still back at its low. I'm trying to respect this 216 and change, so we're going to see, ooh, talk about respecting something. I'm going to disrespect Google right here and put something on the bid, and there it is, a nice little out there for 20 cents on the reload short as it's coming right back down into the downside. Let's see if Google can tank into the close. I'm feeling it. Now no more outs. We just got another piece out as we came back down to that downside. I still have lots of bullets to fire, man. We are now, yeah, let's go, hit the sirens. I just crossed the highest point I've been at all day right now. Obviously, as Google takes out the lows here as well, and as Microsoft. I mean, when you got $1.50 on this trade here for Microsoft, yeah, you probably are going to be at your high point of the day. So we're at that right now. We're rocking and rolling right here. Wow, thank you so much. I'm talking fantasy on the side here. We got a WhatsApp group going down. We got Microsoft going down.
They're probably
We've got Google
trash talking that trade.
We got Google. Nah, no one's really saying that much about it. You know, Zane's just like, oh, so many big deals going down here. You know, he's the one doing them. Nice little downside move here. Downside. There's one GM in our pool who just makes trades like
every single day. He sends a message. Anybody want a deal? Anybody? He's like,
no, but he literally makes a deal a day. It feels like.
Anybody got them deals?
Like he's like, got some first round picks available. You got this available.
You got three kids, dude.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
He's got a full house,
exactly.
man.
But that's whatever.
No,
that doesn't matter.
It's fine. Like you got to have a passion for something. I've been paying attention to it. I'll check it out on the train to be sure. I actually still have Alphabet. It looks like it didn't get it all out there. And the irony of everything, you're absolutely right about Homeless Bob. Good name. He's been in the chat before. We've seen you there before, Homeless Bob. But Coinbase, can't use that one. I'll use this one. Still falling. So they are selling Coinbase going into these earnings. I haven't double checked back on Square or PayPal. I do recognize it is Block. Yeah, I mean, Block, look at this. I just canceled my stop order for the break of VWAP downside on Block. I just did that like 30 seconds ago, and this has done absolutely nothing. So one's dying, the other one's not moving. So at least you don't waste your time on what isn't moving. PayPal, they also report aftermarket here. Like, wow, it's just the relative weakness in Coinbase is crazy. This doesn't really do anything in the closing show. So it's all coin, all to the downside, absolutely just flushing. And I still see UVXY falling into that downside. So if something's going to go up, it looks like it's really just Meta. I don't see anything else. I don't know if you saw anything, but the only thing that broke out to the upside was Meta as far as I'm concerned. So if I hang on to something going to 350, it'll be Meta. Google just happens to still be working to the downside, but not by much. So those will be the two that I have going into this close. Unless something crazy does happen, I haven't really seen much going on there. You guys let us know. HUDI, I don't want to count that. So if you're, oh, that halted upside. The thing about trading this, there was a trade right here after like the successive up halts, and then you had this break. On the last halt, it tried to break higher, halts to the downside, opens up right here at 60, right? So the trade that I would have made, we weren't able to get this unblocked fast enough to be able to get the locates, pay for them, be able to trade it a bit too slow, and that's on me. I should have been more prepared. You could have shorted off 60 with your stop right here, the previous halt top on the way to the upside. That's about $3.50 worth of risk. Depending on what you pay for shorts, that's very important actually. It comes down and gives you about 12 bucks. So even if your average out, you get out 1, 2, 3, 4 times, that's how I would do. Your average out is likely in the 54 range. That works out to about just a little bit less than 2 to 1. That's why it matters how much you pay for the shorts. If you pay $3 for the short, the math doesn't work. You're 1 to 1 the entire way, and that sucks when you consider any slippage to that upside. But if you're paying a cheap enough amount for your locates, then that short off that consolidation works into VWAP, bounces off, now it's taken off. I don't chase these things late in the day. I think the risk to reward isn't that fantastic. For those that can like take some out for quick profit, take some out when it maybe runs after 4 o'clock, and then swing the rest with like your YOLO, that's a different story. We have to be flat at the end of the day. So at 340, probably not much for me, but it is indicating a 78 open. So it's saying it wants to open off this page, so 72.5, 78 open, it's indicating. It should be opened up in about 2 minutes or so. It's a 10-minute halt currently.
Rashad Bateman done for the year right now. So
Arrows up for Andrews?
He was part of, I think so, as long as he comes back. There's that other guy. I think he's back playing right now.
Likely, the rookie.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
He's likely to get a lot of targets if Andrews does not
Why
play.
didn't they trade for a receiver?
Yeah, I don't know what Baltimore's situation is right now. Well, no, don't they have, what's his name coming? No, they got rid of Hollywood, right? I think they have.
Yeah, they got nothing.
Don't they have somebody hurt?
Devin Duvernay, who's their top receiver right now.
Arrows up for that dude, obviously.
I run a pretty solid 40.
Duvernay.
If the Ravens, if you're interested, I still run pretty quick there. I don't know if I can catch anything, but
no,
not like your receivers can. So I mean, I can't be
too small. Like these receivers are like 6'3" these
Tyler
days.
Lockett.
Yeah, but Tyler Lockett runs a 4
Yo,
something.
Tyler Lockett?
Tyler Lockett.
That's my spirit animal. That dude,
special,
I don't care what they list him at. He is a lot smaller than me, and he's an
What is that
absolute
dude
beast.
listed at? I'm going to look that shit up.
I think it's like, they list him at like 5'9", 180.
Oh, you already know?
He ain't 5. Dude, you're not heavier than.
What are
he's
you,
a beast of an athlete. I'll tell you that right now.
You're 5'10", or what?
Like,
what's?
Yeah, I'm like 5'10", 175.
Okay, let's see.
And I think the dude doesn't look. Like
I mean, Tyler. Look, there's been a lot of great small receivers. I don't even think Tyreek Hill's that's. Yeah, he says 5'10", 180. That's what they say. For him.
That's basically my size. He's not taller than me.
And then Tyreek
and
Hill.
He's 7 pounds on me. Hill's actually.
Well, I mean, that was
he's
the
jacked.
cheetah,
Tyreek Hill,
cheetah.
Cheetah's jacked. He's built like a sprinter, right?
He's built like Brendan. What's up, Brendan?
There's a note, or there was a note early this afternoon, guys, about New York State and the possibility of the first cannabis license for retail coming fairly shortly. So just noticed all of the weed names still holding up nicely. This one specifically has earnings to come early next week as well.
Yeah, I guess that does hurt Lamar too. Yeah, him going down there. Yeah, good point, guys. All right, I should have just, we said we'd hold forever there on this. spot here for not forever, but until at least the close. And the close is coming pretty soon, so I should have taken that bid. We just went down to low a day again. I was staring at Google. Should have taken it out. Let me just take a 90. Let me take a 91. I've bid 91. Hopefully it comes back down in, fills that 91. I mean, look, we should have taken that 83 for sure. We'll do it next time if it comes down. We're just going to take some. Here we go. Come on, 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 come on. There it is. Yes, sir. Goes through 91. Hopefully that was a good idea. And then, maybe not a good idea. Coming back in here, I'm going to bid 85. Let's go 85 bid right now. There is only 7 minutes until the market on close and balance. I want to thank everybody for
trailing
coming.
Stop time.
Yeah, exactly. Put some trailing stops on. 1.1K likes. Fahad, cut the feed. 1.1K likes. I guess people don't like this at all. 5,000 watching, 1,000 likes. Man, that's disappointing.
So I'll give you guys some real talk.
Very disappointing.
Here's the thing.
Real talk time.
Most days of trading are not like yesterday, right? So what you want to be, the most important thing that you can do is when you see that move like yesterday and the opportunities, you have to be able to shift gears from like, you go to scalp mode, this is what the market's give and take, it's going to be tighter ranges, especially in the afternoon, because you're not going to see yesterday every single day. I always like to give poker analogies, and the best players, they can, obviously they understand the game, but they can shift and adjust to what the table is like. If there's a lot of loose players in there, you got to be able to play one way. And if there's a lot of tight players at that table, you've got to understand how to be able to play what is in front of you. You can control your own tone, your own style, and those setups. The market is going to give you. You cannot come in thinking, this is what the market's going to be today. It was wild yesterday, it's going to be the same thing. No, that's not how it works. You have to adjust to it every single day. That's within your control. I like to think that to the extent that we've been able to do that this afternoon is a good thing, because otherwise, if you try taking everything for a breakout, hold it for the big monster win, and it's not there, we're not serving anybody, because it's not true. You're chasing a dream that isn't there. That being said, trailing stop on, and I just want to be able to make sure that we don't actually lose on this one. So I'm now out of Meta, and oddly enough, I thought it would be the other way, but yep, it looks like we are heading to the downside. 5 minutes of the imbalances. Do still have the Alphabet trade. It'll be the last thing on board. I thought Meta had a chance. It did make a bit of a breakout. It was a good long. I couldn't find too much that was better. If you had Crocs all day, then the win's on you, but even that's starting to come back. Crocs, 15%. Etsy, 15%. If I was a betting man, I would have lost a lot. If you had told me those would be the two today, I would not have made that guess 100%, but that's what the market gives you. It gives you something every single day. You got to be able to catch these trends. I was late to Boeing. That worked out. Crocs was probably just as good. If you can't tell me there weren't chances to get into this thing today, then I'm lying if I'm saying there weren't. This is that high from Fed high. Where does it dip to? Right where it broke out at that Fed high. That's exactly where it dips to, holds VWAP, whatever indicator you wanted, it gave it to you at 71. So that trend was there. It's there, the home run if you wanted, but chasing a home run in the afternoon, no, that wasn't there at all.
Yeah, you tall though, Fahad. You tall. Okay, so.
What's he saying now?
No, he was actually had a good idea. You want me to say it, Fahad? Yeah, he was saying that he could stand beside you on the bell, and then people could get a good feel for, was it guess your weight, Fahad, you want to do? Yeah, but
I know how tall he is. We had this conversation.
Oh, come on. He wants people to guess his weight to see if people think he looks fat.
I'll be flat at the close.
I'll stand next to him
at the bell. I'll be flat. I won't have any positions on.
Sure, we'll do that right now. But meanwhile, okay, Fods, you get your dream there. $2 now in the money on Microsoft.
I don't know why he wants to do that.
I mean, thank you for the like count, man. We just went from 1.1 to 1.4 real fast there. So thank you so much for the love on the show. And yeah, I mean, like Neil was just talking about scalping in the market not moving.
Now we are.
Yeah, now we are. This is not a scalp at all, man. Microsoft, we're holding this. This is $2. We scalped it out, but we've had so many great holds today. AMD holds long, Amazon holds short and long, all that. So no matter your style of trading, I've got you guys right here, man. Scalping I do, holding we do. And by the way, you want to talk about another one, we're on one again. I'll just be whatever kind of trader you want me to be. There it is right there. Look at Google. Google collapsing. Like you want to talk about giving you trades? How about this for a trade? I know there's some complaints about, blah, 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 not giving trades. I don't know what else to tell you today. We gave you Google, Microsoft, AMD. That Apple loser was kind of bad. But there it is right there. Nice little win on Google. We said we were going to hold, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for that as well, because that was something that I've been trying to work on, holding things into the close and for bigger winners. And we have done that. We have done that in spades over the last couple months. So good trade there. We're getting lighter, only 2 minutes. And then someone said, hey, where's a good long for Google in your long-term account? I bought more today.
Dollar cost average.
I bought, there is no level. We're already too low. There is no levels. Google's PE is 17.5. The market's PE is 19.
Well, what you could, some people actually, dollar cost average makes the most sense, but some people actually target like a PE. Like you just sort of do that.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
And you could say, well, okay, you want to buy at 15, then if it goes to 13, like, give me a break. I definitely buy there. But I just dollar cost averaging. Like if you like a position, take 10%, and then a month later, take another 10%. If it's lower, you'll get more shares. That's how it works, right? So that's usually the best way to work in. Never want to get, usually I would prefer, if you're building a long-term position in something, not to get it all in at once. Right? Like give yourself a little bit of space.
Yeah, that's like investing 101 there.
I hate to say things, and it is an obvious thing to be able to say, but I hate to speak in certainties. Do you? But I just think you should always leave a little bit of room there. But I wanted to answer a question. Someone asked how I knew the indicated open for HUDI. So for us, that's actually in our data feed. So the same way we give you guys the imbalances, which are in less than a minute, it also gives you an indicated open price if something is on a halt, right? Because it's an auction. Like the same way the closing is an auction, the open and the close is an auction, you also have an auction for anything that's halted, right? So you will see it show up, and it shows up on our level 2. It's in the data feed. You might have to pay for it with your broker, but for us, it is sort of free with P/8, so we can share that with you anytime.
All right. I just want to show you Google long-term. I mean, right now, man, we are $2 in the money on Micron. I mean, this imbalance is going to come out. We'll do this after. All right, let's watch the imbalances as they come out right now. We're going to just get rid of ARCA because we don't need them. And here we go. Let's see. Are we out? Where's the size? There it is. Okay.
There it is.
Amazon. Whoa. Okay. Amazon big time sell right there. Let's move this over a little bit so we can see what happens. There's Amazon with the sell. Well, watch out for this stock. Let's push it over and see where it's going. There it is. Amazon pushing lower, 89, 89.60. Amazon tanking right now. Intel buy. That's fine. No one's on that. Meta's we just saw Meta there. Meta a sell, probably heading to the downside as well. There it is. Oh, we have a bad wick there, making the chart look crazy. All right, so that's that. I don't really see anything else too much on here. If you guys are on this, maybe I don't know, we don't really trade Cisco, but that's there as well. FedEx is there as a buy. Whenever you get sort of under a milli, there's not much to look at. So I would say the big is it a surprise? The big one there is Amazon with a 1.37 million share sell. And you could see, the effect it has. Like that was 350. It was right here at 80. It was at $90. Call it what it is. There's the drop down 30 cents. So straight to the downside 30 cents. And by the way, like you want to talk about something puking out right now. This trade on Microsoft, I'm happy about this. Shorts all the way down. We're going to cover Microsoft right here at 214.80. I might as well cover it. There's only 8 minutes left. This has been a big trade for me.
I'm 10 cent trailing Google.
Yeah.
So you can put like a trail.
50 cents in the money on Google.
Yeah, you can do like a trail a lot of different ways. But if it goes back up 10 pennies, I'll get out of it. But that hoodie, by the way, hey, congratulations if you got it. Forget about 100%, 180%. It halted again to the upside. The difference here is that it halted late enough that it might not open up. Even if it's a 10-minute halt, this late in the session, sometimes it opens. Sometimes you wait until 4 o'clock when the closing print is actually it reopening. And the indication is $105.72. So it halted at 87 after the previous halt at 72. And if you're long this, it is saying it's going to open another $17 or $18 higher. We always say this every single time. If you got it, take some profit. We've seen these come down just as heavily as they do go to the upside. But wow, pretty big ride for this. I promise you a lot of people in the back, and myself, the first thing I'll do when I come in, if it's above $100, is check to see the price of the locates. Because that one shot, like it had here, is usually worth it, and you want to be patient waiting for it. But if I see $100, $200 tomorrow, that's going to be worthy of it, HUDI here. But trade with caution and always pay yourself out and have an idea where wrong is. If you don't know where wrong is, then nothing else matters, because that just means when you lose, you're going to lose a heck of a lot more than when you win. I just got trailed out. There was a 10-cent bounce on Google, Alphabet, I should say, so I got out automatically there. And that's what a trailing stop is. You can do it like percentage. They could come back 1% when you're in the money, or 1/10%, or if it comes back $1, come back 10 cents, or you can just have a hard stop at a key price level. I opted for a 10-cent move because we have to be flat anyways, end of the day.
All right, there it is, man. We just tweeted it out. There's our Microsoft end of day right there, out right here at 1465. So that's it. That closes that trade. $2 in the money. Nice win there. Actually, a little bit more than that. So there it is, out of Microsoft. Again, short, 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 short. Out. So good trade there. And yeah, Google, I have basically candy on right now. It's not a big deal. We'll wait until it comes back down. If it does take, I'm going to put a bid right here, 83.50. Hopefully we'll get that test a little bit lower on that, and then we'll get out for that 56 cents or so, 55 cents. I put a 51 bid. So let's see if it continues to go to the downside. Actually, scratch that. Let's see if we get a lot lower. Let's see if we take down 40. Let's see if Google does want to just like absolutely, get all over itself here at the end of the day, down into 83.30, something like that. That bottom right there was 44. Let's see if it has one more swoosh down. But we do know that at 55, these can switch around. So we have about a minute to go. If they stay sell side, then we should get more of a move down. We got it at Microsoft right here at 64, I think it was. So that's going to be a good out for us. So we can give it back a little bit on Google, but here goes Google right back into the 40s. Good thing we didn't take that out. I almost took it out at 60. It doesn't matter. Let's just see if it does flush. But we're going to finish the day at the highest spot we've been at all day, like we said. So far, so good on trading. And wow, what a fantastic day it definitely turned out to be, man. Can't wait to pay $8 and get that blue check mark. What's up, Justin? What are you doing?
No, sorry, my chart just crashed.
If you need time, I can.
No, my chart just crashed like 5 times in a row here. I'm sorry, I can't even bring up this
5 times,
stuff.
not bad.
No, see, like every time I open, you see it just keeps on crashing. Here,
we are going to have Fahad on the bell. So Fahad and Neil are both going to be on the bell, and then
you guys can say what you think.
And then Fahad wants you to guess his weight. So
you've
already said 180 or 1.
I'm 175.
Okay.
I've basically been like I'm always in that range. Obviously,
how tall are you, Fahad?
Matters. He's 6 feet.
Okay, so
you're 6'1".
6'1".
Okay, he's 6'1".
6'1". I'm 6. Let's see. All right, let's go over to the big board with Brendo.
More fun to come tomorrow, guys. Going to be another very, very busy day. Most of the action aftermarket tonight, but a few tomorrow as well.
Okay, well, we've already gone over some of those names. The thing that I'm looking at is Starbucks. I mean, Starbucks has a lot of China exposure as well. They rallied a lot. We didn't talk enough about Starbucks today. I actually missed them
when
we did that in the morning show. But yeah, Coinbase and PayPal definitely going to be on our mind. And then the big DKNG, Donkey Kong, is what we used to call that name around here. But Donkey Kong reporting tomorrow as well. Neil's touched on Fubo.
Your squeeze potential one
is AMC?
Fubo to the downside. Because Fubo's 20. No.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Right,
AMC Networks,
yeah.
AMC's next week, isn't it?
And then for some reason, it's hilarious. We have Canadian telecommunications giant TELUS on the board there tomorrow. So I actually am, and that's where Maggie went. Maggie went
Why
to
do
TELUS.
We have that on the board?
But I am a TELUS user, so shout out to TELUS as well. But
we probably won't be looking at them.
No, not probably. We definitely will not be looking at TELUS tomorrow. I don't even know.
I never speak in certainties.
Most of them are dual listed.
What if TELUS is gapping down 20%?
Still won't look at it.
I will.
Okay.
If you gap 20%, I'm looking at it. That's just the reality. Like if it moves that much. But Fubo, 26% short. I think Peloton, we said, was 15. Fubo TV, yeah, just a little bit lower, and a big higher short interest. So I'd flip to that chart, but I don't want it to crash. I mean, I want to have Hootie up anyways because it looks like it'll open up at 4. So it'll be fun to see. If it does really open at 106 at 4 o'clock, that would be rather impressive. So like I said, congratulations to you. Be careful trading this in the aftermarket. If you think it's thin, low liquidity now, guess what it might be at 4 o'clock or after that, a little bit less than that. So be careful if you are happening to trade this. But if you're long, you clearly are in the money at this point.
Yeah, we can still have this up, but I mean, this is the kind of day that we're having today again, man. Google I was just like, let's see if it wants to go to the downside here and test these lows. That's exactly what it's doing right now. Down to 83.47 now and still going lower, lower, lower as Google's starting to make some new lows here. Every single downtick is a brand new 52-week low. I did want to bring this up because people were asking about Google. This is what I'm talking about. It's been chopped in half since the beginning of the year. So 150 is where we were out in January, and now you're down to 83. So I know it's not exactly in half. Don't at me for that one. My math is slightly better than Prad's. But right there, $80. I mean, if you're going to look for some support levels, this is why people are saying 50. There's a lot of names that are back to the COVID lows right now, and that would be $50 for Google. So, you know, and I can't hate on someone that would say that, right? I mean, that could be where we go there, back for Google. I'm out at 50. I just got out of Google right now as it broke back above 50 on a stop. But there it is right there. Downside movement. I could see 70 as a key spot for Google, but other than that.
Much more reasonable PE than something like an Amazon, though.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, Tesla's PE is also a nightmare. There we go right there. Google now out for that big win again for us to end the day with only a minute and a bit left. It's going to be Fahad. Yeah, I got this. It's going to be Fahad and Neil on the countdown because Fahad
I'm just standing there.
wants everybody to judge his weight. So Neil 5'9", 5'10", 5'10", I think.
5'10", 175.
5'10", 175. Fahad 6'1" and a half. And soon to sign his first NBA contract as well. So we're going to see that coming out right now for that as the bell gets ready. You know, I'm by myself right here, so that's pretty cool. We'll see there as we get ready to rock and roll now with with 40 seconds left in the market. Good out for us on Google. Here we go. You got the mask up, ready to go? Yeah, you got to turn that way. The thing is, you're all in one color right now. But okay, you can. I mean, okay, well. Let's go there with a little bit more than 10 seconds left, all right? So we'll go there in a couple seconds. I want to thank everybody for watching. Get your weight guesses ready for Fahad. Okay, we can go over there right now as we're getting close to 10 sequds left here. We'll hit the countdown right now. There it is. There is Fahad posing up. He looks a hell of a lot taller than 6'1" there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, the market is closed. Do you want to turn around, Fahad? Let's see. Okay. Wow, look at that. This guy's ripped as well. Fahad coming into play right now. And no, that is not a wig. So just so you guys want to know about that one right there.
This guy's like posing.
I mean, I don't know how to properly tell. There's people putting stuff in there. There's a lot of...
260. He's not 268. Come on, man.
So what I told Fahad in the chat was nobody's going to put... you can't guess properly because someone put 345.
420.
How does that 420. Make any sense?
I see you 420. I see you.
Oh,
I
man.
saw you.
Okay, Brendo. That was fun. I don't know what we accomplished with
nothing.
that. But
we accomplished nothing. You guys got to see this. You got to see him pose, showing off the muscles.
Oh man, this is too much.
It's too. Look at this.
I mean, I know what it is because he told me already. There are some pretty good. All the guesses that are flying in now, there's a couple of guesses in there that are very, very accurate. So, all right, Brendo, how did we wind up?
Fahad saying I can tell his real weight, but I'm not going to. This is Hal. Very negative, guys. 2% for the NASDAQ. Better part of 2% there for the NASDAQ on top of, 3.5 yesterday. So it's getting ugly. 1.09 for the S&P, the Dow 0.3. But more red top to bottom, unfortunately, guys.
Yeah, so we were just sort of talking about this. I think that Fahad might be a little taller than 6 feet and a half. Like if he's more than 6'1", then that makes sense. But Huddy is at $120. So if anyone paying attention to that, congratulations, it's up again.
Why do we even care how much Fahad weighs? This is like a very unique, interesting.
I didn't start. You started it.
I didn't start. I started because the guys in my E wanted to do it.
Why do you care, Fahad?
Here we go. He's good. Oh, he just wanted to see how he looked on camera, basically.
He wanted to see. Okay. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Well, whatever. This has been a fantastic, fantastic date so far to trade again, man. It was a little bit of a different day, but I feel like I actually traded just as well today as yesterday. My nets are very similar yesterday as today. We did have a higher peak yesterday, but then we dropped out some of those longs and then some of those shorts and then reversed into a long. Today we stay very, very disciplined and cash out pretty big, man. Today we finished at the highest spot we've been at, and another green day for your boy
The
here.
stock is at $155.
Huddy? Kid Huddy? Did anybody get that in the chat? Kid Huddy? You know that one.
They got it.
They got it. Okay, guys. What a great day for that. The trade of the day was Meta. Was it? Yeah. So stay tuned for Meta, man. It was a good afternoon show. Thanks to Luca. Thanks to Trader Prad today as well. Great having Fahad back, man. He adds so much to the experience, I feel like. Thanks to Lucas as well. Great job on the ones and twos. Brendan, as always. Thanks to Luis Barbado today as well, coming through this morning. He actually talked big cap, so that's great. Lower, okay, Amazon closes 3.1% lower in longest losing streak since 2019 for Amazon. So there you go, man. I mean, again, the earnings were the problem there, so we'll see if it goes lower, lower, lower. Hopefully not, though, Brendo. All right, it's 4:03, and tonight it's Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Houston Texans. So get your popcorn ready. That should be an exciting day. Philly's still undefeated, right? And I don't think that's going to change tonight.
It's not. I got their defense going tonight, but I also have Dameon Pierce, Offensive Rookie of the Year runner-up, because K9's going to win it.
Probably, yeah. Well, Pierre, the thing is, he only got the ball 2 weeks ago, right?
It doesn't matter.
It's just a matter of the numbers.
Michigan State power.
Offensive.
You cannot stop Kenneth Walker III.
Yeah,
K9 is unstoppable.
It's going to be one of those
He's a freak.
guys.
He's better than Breece Hall. He's a monster.
Yeah, I got him in another pool I'm in, so I really like that dude. All right, Kenneth Walker for the win for Seattle. Those of you that watch, Brendan's like, what the hell are these guys even talking about? All right, Google still making new lows here in the aftermarket, but hey, it's 4:04. Fahad's got to get out of here. So for everybody at Trader TV Live, that's Neil and Brendan. I'm Sean. We're going to join you tomorrow, and make sure you come check us tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. See you then.